numbers எத்தனை? Okay. 185. Okay, fine. Good morning, students, my dear friends. Hope I'm audible to you. Some of you just text yes in the chat box so that I can understand that I'm audible to you all. Yes, fine. Okay. So to introduce myself, I am Sathyapaul Deepak. I am going to handle Indian polity for you. I did my BSc Physics at Loyola College, Chennai, and then worked at Cognizant Technology Solutions for 1.5 years. I quit Cognizant Technology Solutions in order to prepare for civil services. And I've gone for 5 consecutive interviews in UPSC. That is my experience. And my optionals were political science and international relation and sociology. And with regarding to my teaching experience here in Shankar IAS Academy, I've been associated with Shankar IAS Academy from 2011 onwards. This is my 9th year of teaching Indian polity in Shankar IAS Academy. So my experience of attending IAS examination for 5 consecutive years and clearing it 5 consecutive times until interview level, as well as my teaching experience would help me to help you to understand Indian polity very clearly. At the same times, I would also tell you what should be done, what not to be done during the UPSC preparation. So this is my short introduction, and you will get to know about me as the class proceeds. Before we start the session, I just wanted to get introduced to each one of you, but that is not possible. Even if it is an offline class, that won't be possible because we'll have a lot of people. So now it's being a virtual class, it is difficult, but you know, I just want to have some kind of introduction, some kind of interaction with you, so that it will be comfortable for me to continue with this session. Okay. So is there any doctor in this batch? Please raise hand. No, I just want to interact with you. Any doctors here in this batch? Yes. Priya, yes. Priya.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Which college did you study?
Sir, Coimbatore, sir. Karpagam Medical College.
Okay. Right now, are you practicing?
No, sir. Just now I completed my degree, sir.
Very good.
I haven't practicing.
Very good. We are eager to meet you once in the offline class. Now, sometimes in polity class, people get faint. You know. It won't happen actually. You know, I just said it for fun. You know. So, anyways, the doctor is here. So, when you come to offline class, there is a doctor to save you people. Good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
Thank
fine.
you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any lawyer? Okay. Or I should ask an advocate, a lawyer or an advocate. This batch, yes. Please hand raise, no? Nobody's there? If nobody's there, go. Good. Okay. So anybody's parents are politicians here? At least you just say yes, no need to interact. So, because sometimes when I ask you to interact, you may not say yes. Okay, Deepan is there. Okay, fine. Deepak. Very good.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi Deepak. Okay. So you're a advocate or one of your parents is a politician?
My parent is a politician and he is also a chartered accountant.
Oh, good, good, good. So I'm not going to ask which political party he belongs to. That will be not appropriate. Yeah. But a disclaimer. I asked, I just put this request to Deepak as well as any other persons who have political affiliations. In classroom, while teaching polity, I would like to give examples of political parties, political leaders. Sometimes I'll be very appreciative of them. Sometimes I'll be critical of certain political parties and political leaders. That is for your understanding purpose only. No political intention here. This stage is not for politics. This is academic stage. Okay, so I would request to listen to the class patiently and without any passions. Is that okay, Deepak?
Definitely, sir. It's obvious. Yes, sir. It's obvious and it's a default thing.
Good. I appreciate your spirit, Deepak. Good, very good. And also, good. Is there anybody who's son and daughter of the bureaucrat here? Anybody who's a son or daughter of a bureaucrat here? Please hand raise. No, okay, fine. So I would like to request these people, those who are having legal knowledge already, lawyers, those who are sons and daughters of politicians or bureaucrats, or those who are already active into politics. Nowadays, Facebook politics is the order of the day. So every one of us comment each day on a particular issue. Every day new issues are coming up. So we are almost have some kind of political inclination. So I all just request you, to leave all those things outside the class and come inside to learn afresh. Now the problem with our subject is, okay, so first of all of them will ask, sir, what is this polity? We have never heard the term polity. Very simple, polity is nothing but politics. Okay, so how we govern ourselves, how we rule ourselves, how we administrate ourselves is polity. That's all. I'm going to talk about the in-depth meaning of polity, but right now, polity is just politics. Okay, so the problem with our subject is, you people already know something about polity. You know that there is a prime minister, there is a president, and today morning there was a news about Pondicherry where budget session has to be introduced. Lieutenant Governor, the very famous Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi, she has refused to come to the State Legislative Assembly of Pondicherry. The Chief Minister of Pondicherry has requested her to come and start the session. So you are following the news, you are into politics. So already you have some knowledge about politics. You know what is BJP, what is Congress, what is NDA, what is happening in Rajasthan, what is happening in northeastern states. So all these things already you know. So there will be a lot of assumptions. So when you listen to the class, okay, when you listen to the polity class, there always this problem that you misconceive things, meaning you understand things in a wrong way. You will have your own set of ideas and you will not listen to what exactly has been told in the class. So I would request you to be open mind in the class. Okay, and whatever you have learned, first unlearn it. I would like to reiterate the word unlearn, meaning whatever you assume that you know in politics, drop it. Now we are going to learn from scratch. See, I am going to assume that all of you are zero in politics, or you don't know anything in Indian polity. Don't know anything about president, you don't know anything about prime minister, you don't know anything about chief minister, political parties. I assume like that, and I will be starting from the scratch. Okay, so each one of the basic terms I'll be explaining. So be patient in the class, even if you have learned. Some people would have already learnt Indian polity. You would have read books, you have attended classes somewhere else, or your seniors have told you and you have some familiarity, but still unlearn and start from the scratch. That is best for you. Okay. Socrates used to say that when he was young, he was thinking that he knew everything. Then when he was in the middle age, he came to a realization that he knew something and he did not knew something. And in his old age, serene age, when he's about to die, at that time, he told to the world that he knew nothing. And he said that the best knowledgeable person in the world is one who knows that he doesn't know anything. So that kind of attitude is required here also, so that you will be able to clear this examination very faster. When you don't leave your political inclinations, prejudices, assumptions, and straight away start learning for preparing for UPSC examination, it will take some time for you to clear. I'm not saying you won't clear, but it will take some time for you to clear this examination, because this examination is more about unlearning as well as learning. Okay, because already you are a youth, you know things, you have voted in elections also. Most of you here would have voted in general elections. So in such case, I have to put a request to you to come open-minded to the class. Fine. So I told you I did my BSc Physics from Loyola College. So is there anybody from Loyola College here in this group? Loyola College, Chennai? Yes. You can just hand raise. At least maybe I can just count. Let me see how many. And if you interact, that would be fine also. Jayavardhan. Is there anybody from Loyola College, Chennai? No. Okay, BSc Physics. Who did Physics? Physics. Of course, I know engineers. Some engineers are raising an hand. Physics is part of your curriculum. Okay. Basic science, physics. Is there anybody? A little bit louder, no? Please. Kirtivasan. Yes, Kirtivasan. Which college did you study? Yes. Yes,
Hello,
Kirtivasan.
sir.
Now you can speak.
Sir, I'm from National College, Trichy, sir.
Good.
I
So
have
we
done.
have.
I have done. Yes, sir. I'm a final year UG student, sir.
Very good. Very good. Now, may I ask you a question? Why was National College started? Can you please share that with us? Now, you said you study in National College. That is related to our subject, Indian polity, Indian history also.
Sir, I think so. Some famous national leaders visited this college and started this due to the oppression from the colonial rulers, sir.
Very good. You're right.
Gandhiji, Nehru, yes, Gandhiji, Nehru, not Gandhiji, but Nehru have visited and inaugurated speech here, sir. I think so.
Very good. So, right. In Corona times, we are talking about self-reliance, right? Atman Nirbhar. As a prime minister, like that, during our freedom struggle to oppose the British, under the Swadeshi movement, we started our own colleges. Indians started our own colleges. Such colleges were called as national colleges. Good that you are from that college, and you belong to my tribe. That is
Yes, sir.
doing physics. Okay, fine. So
Thank you, sir.
good. Next, I just want to know: is there somebody from Nilgiris district? I am from Ooty actually. My native is Ooty. Proper Ooty. Anybody from Ooty or Nilgiris district? Good. Sharon is there. May I interact with you, Sharon?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Where are you from actually?
I'm from Gudalur, sir.
Oh, very good. Okay. So what is your major?
Physics, sir.
I'm asking what is your major in college?
Physics.
Oh,
I did my physics.
fine.
Sir.
Physics. Okay. You're also a physics graduate. Good. We find a lot of physics graduates there. I find lot of chat messages telling that they are from physics. Good. Very good. Okay. So anyway, when you guys come to here offline, we may further interact and know each other. Right now, let us first discuss what is polity. Okay, let us discuss polity. Then I'll go and tell you what books has to be read, what is the approach to study Indian polity. Okay, then in between, no, I will be sharing some techniques. Okay, how to prepare for this examination. Okay, so those techniques are very important. Usually I tell the techniques first and then get into the class, but since this is an offline, I have to change the methodology of teaching because I want to ensure your attention. So I am changing my strategy from this year onwards for the virtual class. Okay. May I know how many of them have logged in, Arvind? Good. So I think then this is the right time to start. Okay. So first thing you should keep in mind, to clear this examination, you should be a Bhakt. Okay, I again tell this, you have to be Bhakt. Yes, you have heard it right. Okay. So many of them are now, furiously thinking, what does it mean? What sir is saying? Is he talking for some political party? Wait, I'm asking you to be a Desh Bhakt. Now you may be asking, sir, what is the difference? Okay, so this is a mnemonic. Okay, this is a mnemonic, I tell you. Everyone should remember that if I want to clear this examination, I should be a Desh Bhakt. Okay. So what does this Desh means? It is a mnemonic. D stands for diet. Okay. E stands for exercise. S stands for sleep, and H for happiness. And Bhakt, as I tell you, the word means devotion. Okay. So if the first time when you hear the word Bhakt, you should have some assumptions because of seeing a lot of WhatsApp messages and Facebook messages. That's why, leave all the thing outside, come with an open mind. Here the word Bhakt means one who's devoted. Okay, devoted to what? These four things: diet, exercise, okay, sleep, and happiness. Apart from studies, okay, of course, study is the first thing. Okay, you are preparing for the civil services, so study plus you should be a Desh Bhakt. So this element, you would neglect most of them. All of them can study. In fact, most of them have joined this academy because you're all either a very good student or at least an average student, or at least you believe that you can study well, you can work hard. But that is alone is not not that only is important, but this area is also very important. Okay, so keep in mind DESH, these four things. These are the techniques that you should carry in your mind along the preparation. Okay, until you get success and come to us to our academy and tell that, sir, I become IAS, IPS, you have to keep this in mind. Okay, so you have to be a Desh Bhakt. Fine. I want to further talk on this techniques, what I exactly mean, how to and why important these things are later on. Okay. Okay, so now we will talk about the subject, what is polity, the meaning of it and other things. Then in between I will be explaining what about diet, what about exercise, what you have to concentrate and sleep, what is actually happiness means, how to bring in happiness, which will help you to clear the examination. Okay, fine. Now I need some 3 volunteers. I hope people have logged in from various states, I think. Ramin, where are they logged in from? Tamil Nadu, Karnataka? Okay. So is there anybody from people from other states? Yeah, there is one from West Bengal, yes. Kerala, okay. Oh, UP, okay. Uttar Pradesh. AP, of course. So for Andhra Pradesh, you people are our state. Chennai, all AP people only, Telugu people only staying here. Okay, for Chennai, we are part and parcel of our state. Okay, yes. Telangana is there, yes. Maharashtra, Mumbai, okay. Fine, fine. Okay, okay, okay. Good, good, good. Fine. So we have people from various states. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. I need 3 volunteers now. Okay. Please raise your hands. No. 3 volunteers who could interact. Arvind, is it possible to enable all 3 same the time? No. Okay, there is one volunteer, Jyoti. First, I'll interact with you, then I'll interact with others. Okay, yes. Jyoti, where are you from?
Sir, I was from Andhra Pradesh.
Good.
I
Okay.
was from Andhra Pradesh.
Fine. Very good. Very good. Now, I would like to ask this one question to you. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food, non-veg.
Non-vegetarian. Good. Any specific food?
Homemade. Mom, homemade. Like
your-
specific chicken.
Okay, chicken. Okay, your homemade, your mother made. Okay, they call it kairuchi. Is it? Okay, fine. Good. Okay. Any other volunteer? Okay, Shivamuthu Kumar.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Where are you from, Shivamuthu Kumar?
I am from Tirunelveli, sir, Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Fine. Good, good. I know that Tirunelveli is in Tamil Nadu. I'm a Tamil. Okay. My ancestry is from
Okay,
Tanjore. Okay, my ancestry is from Tanjore. Okay, we shifted to Nilgiris in the year 1850. In the sense, not me, my forefathers. Okay, 3 generations before they shifted from Tanjore to Nilgiris. Okay, fine. Okay, so what is your favorite food?
Favorite food, idli, sir.
Idli. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So recently that the most famous Tirunelveli Irtukada Halva owner has expired, right? Bad news. Okay, fine. Okay, can you reiterate the names? Jyoti? Wait. So there are a lot of volunteers. We will just enough of volunteers now. I'll ask you for your volunteership later. Okay, so now we have to now. Okay. So first Jyoti, Shivamuthu Kumar, and now third one. Yes. Okay, Giridhar. Yes, Giridhar.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Where are you from, Giridhar?
Sir, I'm from Bangalore, sir, Karnataka.
Karnataka. Good. Okay, fine. So we have people of Ooty have some good connection with Bangalore, especially because most of Ooty people, they settle in Bangalore. Okay, whether they Tamil or not. Okay, they settle in Bangalore because of the climate. Okay, similar climate. Fine. So Giridhar, tell me, what is your favorite food?
Sir, chicken biryani, sir.
Chicken biryani. Okay, fine. Okay. So any vegetarians here? Those who can volunteer. We are all having only non-vegetarians. Okay, Niveta. Niveta, where are you from? Niveta, where are you from?
Hello, good morning. I'm from Madurai.
Okay. So, yes, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food like appam, sodi.
Okay, so vegetarian. Are you a pure vegetarian or
Yeah, pure vegetarian.
pure vegetarian? Okay, very good. So, I'm sorry, what's your name you said again? Niveta, yes. Okay.
Niveta.
Okay, Niveta is there. So fine. Now we have these 4 people. We find, you guys heard that each one have their preferences, right? Okay, so they had their own preferences. Now, supposing all these 4 people has to go to the same restaurant to have lunch together. All of them are coming to Shankarayas Academy. The first day after the class, they want to go and take a meal outside. Okay, now just imagine. Okay, there is a city. They have to go for one restaurant only. And in this group, we have a pure vegetarian also. Okay, and which hotel will you go? Okay, that is the next question for all 4 volunteers. Because now we know that all 4 have different preferences. Okay, and you have to say which hotel you will prefer, why also. Okay, so let us once again start from Jyoti. Yes, Jyoti. And hand raise, Jyoti, please make hand raise so that we can enable your audio. Yes, Jyoti, my question is, you have given your preference that non-veg is your preference. Fine. Now, you have a friend Nivedita, she is a pure vegetarian, and you all guys have to go to restaurant together. So now, which restaurant you will choose and why?
Sir, I don't know so many restaurant names, sir.
Okay, you just can just tell me what whether it is a North Indian restaurant or a South Indian, or you can say whether it's purely non-vegetarian. Okay, once again I'm saying purely non-vegetarian. Okay, and vegetarian, or you can say that Murugan Idli shop. There is some famous shop in Tamil Nadu and Andhra, Murugan Idli shop, where they specialize only in idli. Yes, Shivamuthu from Tirunelveli, he said his favorite food is idli. So you can choose between things, and you must say why. That is the crux here.
Yes, sir, I'll choose South Indian food, sir, because if we order chapati, we can order multiple curries. She can eat paneer curry. I can eat chicken curry.
Very good. I think all of the students heard this. Okay, she's saying that she'll go to a North Indian, okay, cuisine where
No, sir. I will go to South Indian food, here,
Okay.
South Indian.
Any common restaurant where we will take a common food where the sabji or the curries will be whether vegetarian, non-vegetarian according to their preferences. Okay, so you are a bit accommodative. Okay, you want to protect your own interest, you want to protect your own need, at the same time you want to address others' needs also. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So you are a democratic person, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
Jyoti, we can say, she is an example of a democratic person. Good. Yes. Next, Shivamuthukumar from Tirunelveli. Please hand raise, so that we can interact.
Hello, sir.
What kind of restaurant you will prefer?
Sir, in our hometown, sir,
No, I've said that.
I will prefer.
Wait. You are too eager. Yes. Okay. So I know a lot of restaurants there in Tirunelveli. Personally, you give that preference, so I will make use of it. Now I am asking that 4 of your friends, okay, who have interacted now, they are given their different preferences. Which one of the person is a vegetarian. Okay. So what will be your preference? All 4 of you has to go to the same restaurants. Okay. Now which restaurant you will go?
I will prefer vegetarian hotel, sir.
Okay. So you will be accommodative for Nivedita because Nivedita is vegetarian, so you will go for it, right?
Not, sir. In vegetarian hotel only lot of chutneys.
Okay. But when you like you said idli only, no, you don't prefer non-vegetarian?
Yes, sir. No, sir. I will prefer vegetarian.
Okay. Then you are like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Okay. So when he talks about any preferences, he says that whatever I prefer, that should the entire Indian should prefer. Okay. If I want demonetization, everybody has to follow demonetization. Okay. So leave that. Okay. This is one kind of politics. One kind of politics says that you demand other people also to follow suit. You have your own need. You want something from the country, and you will require all other people to demand the same thing from the country, nothing else. That is one kind of politics. That is also one kind of politics. If democratic is one kind of politics where you go for accommodative politics, okay, telling that okay, everybody, you ask these things, we will take a decision which would satisfy everybody. Fine, that is one kind of politics. This is one kind of politics. Yes. Then Giridhar, yes. Please raise your hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you tell me, Giridhar. Okay, you have a vegetarian in your group, you have a non-vegetarian in your group, and you have a idli-tarian in a group, a new kind of variety. Okay, fine. So
Sir, I would choose to go for a hotel which has both veg and non-veg dishes served.
okay, good. That's good, democratic. But
Because
just assume that Nivedita doesn't like or she never eats up in a restaurant where non-veg is served.
sir, yes, sir. So that's why, sir, I would prefer hotel which serves both, so that they can opt for their favorite food in for them, and for others
And you will
the other kind
sacrifice.
of food.
Is it? You will sacrifice, is it?
Sir,
You are ready to sacrifice, is it?
yes, sir. If they demand, yes.
Then you are Rahul Gandhi of our class. So sacrificing the post and going away. And then that explains the reason why Congress is failing. That we find that many young and dynamic people are going out of the Congress, and many states ruled by the Congress is disintegrating. That's one of the reasons. Okay, good. That is another kind of politics. I'm just trying to make you understand. Yes, yes. Who's that? Who's that? I heard some lady girl's voice. Okay.
So that was my sister, sir. Like she was just behind talking to my mom.
Oh, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's good. Okay, so I'm giving this exam. Fine. Now I want to talk with Nivedita. Okay, the only vegetarian in the group. Yes. So before that, the politics of sacrifice. There are some people who are sacrificed in politics. You take the national leaders, freedom fighters. They sacrifice their life in order to achieve political goals. So that is also one type of politics. Yes. Yes, Nivedita, your honor.
Yes, sir. Like
Yeah.
I'll be going to common restaurant which I can get non-veg and veg because most of my friends, family and all non-veg only. So
Okay.
I have no other.
Okay. Good. Very good. Very good. So we have many democratic people in our class. I appreciate that really. And the other batch, while I was discussing, I was asking the same question. One person said, "Sir, we will go to Chinese restaurant." Okay. So completely, nothing North Indian, South Indian, veg, non-veg, no confusion. And they also eat those things which never eat also. Okay, fine. Now those kind of approach is like the approach of Donald Trump. Many of us are like Nivedita, are you hearing? She's not there. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the people in politics are like Donald Trump. Whatever they decide, it is not useful for themselves. For Donald Trump, it is not useful for USA. It is not useful for the world also. Okay. When asked for a solution, when asked for a demand from various groups, so we have certain political approaches which gives a solution which will not satisfy anybody's need. It will only create conflict. So I am just trying to explain to you that every human being has different needs, wants, and these needs are not same, they are different needs. When they ask for these different needs, there is conflict between them. And politics is how you resolve this conflict, how you manage this conflict. Okay, I will just tell you. We have various groups in India. Okay, they cannot live as separate countries in divided manner. We all should be an united India. We all should be united India. But we have difference of opinions. If you keep on the difference of opinions, how can we remain the same? In order to remain the same, we have to resolve the conflicts. If you don't resolve the conflict, you get separated. If you resolve the conflict, you keep united. Okay. So are you able to understand this? Okay, very simple. Politics is nothing but we are having difference of opinions, difference of requirements. Our requirements may come into a conflict. Okay. Now the government wants to revamp the economy. The business class, capitalists are asking for loan from the bank. If government gives loan for the capitalists, they don't have money to give to the farmers. If government give all the money to the farmers, there is no capitalist. Capital industry does not work. So same resources from bank, different groups of people are demanding and there is a conflict. If this conflict is not resolved, we will get separated. Country cannot remain in a united and sustained manner. So resolving conflict is important. So the entire process of resolving the conflict and to ensure the country is staying united and providing welfare for the people, this process is what we call it as polity. Okay. So polity is all those processes, okay, so which helps us to remain united. Okay. United we stand, divided we fall. Okay. Now I must ask this one crucial question. Jammu and Kashmir is there. Whatever happens, we know that recent Galwan Valley, there was a conflict with China. Even now the conflict is going on. Today 6 Rafale aircraft is being imported by India so that it can be used for surveillance in the Galwan area. This is today's news, today morning news. Now, India is very desperate on Jammu and Kashmir. Whatever happens, we will not leave Jammu and Kashmir to be separated away from us. Why? Anybody, please raise your hand and tell me why is that? Now, yeah, why I'm asking this question is the importance of unity. I want to make you realize what is the importance of unity, why India should be united. Okay, so Tenmoli, yes, please answer my question. Why is that we don't want Jammu and Kashmir to be given away or to be separated from India? We want it to be part of India always. Yes, Tenmoli. Okay, any other student? Yeah, Shruti Yam Sivam.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
So, according to me, for what you asked, Kashmir has been a part and parcel of India from the historical times itself. That is, if we
Good.
go back to the historical back, so we have economic, administrative, cultural, heritage ties with that. And not only that, we can even trace religious and mythological facts to the land of Kashmir. So it will be unscrupulous if it stays apart. To say that to abrogation of Article 370 also, the recent event. So if that also we foresee, if we are asked about the pros and cons of whether Jammu and Kashmir demands a separate status or not, one positive point which I would like to point out is that Kashmir should be, because even though Kashmir, we used to count it as a state of India, while it enjoyed a separate status, we felt that it was something far apart. But since now it has been made a part of it, now only we are getting the real feeling that it is a part of the administrational India. It is part of
Okay.
the union.
You started the answer very correctly. Well, second part of the answer you have deviated. That is a different discussion. Article 370, special autonomy for Jammu and Kashmir, we will discuss it later. Now, my point is Jammu and Kashmir is asking for independence. Some people, not all Jammu and Kashmir, some people. Pakistan is doing something, China. But we will not allow that. We are, strongly defending our borders. Okay. So, what is the reason?
So, one more reason. If we give special, if we allow Jammu and Kashmir to separate, means it will be like we'll be encouraging separation on religious ties. But India is a land which upholds secularism. So just for the reason that majority of them are Muslim population, we cannot give away Kashmir. That's what I said. I feel according to my.
Okay, where are you from? Where are you from?
So I'm from Kerala.
I correctly assessed so. Okay, fine. Good. The 2 points are correct. Okay, but I'm asking for a primary point. You are correct that the first point is, it has been historically, culturally, it is part of our idea of India. Okay, more than it is part of China or part of Pakistan or an independent nation. And there is other part of argument also, we will not come to it. Okay, because some Kashmiris say that historically they have always been independent. That is different story. As a bureaucrat, as who's preparing for civil services, this answer is correct. Okay, you have to answer like this only. Second, we are talking about the identity. Yes, India is a secular country, so religion-based nationality we will not accept. Very good, fine. So any other points? Okay, thanks for that. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank
Yeah, I want to hear more from other people also. I know that you have a lot of points. I want to hear from other people also. Okay. Yes. I want, I'll just give a clue. I want you people to answer based on utility, based on use. Why should Jammu and Kashmir be part of India? What is the use for India? Supriya? Supriyo, yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Where are you from?
I am from West Bengal, sir.
West Bengal, yes. Okay. Yeah, please let me know why Jammu and Kashmir has to be part of India. Utility basis, national basis, linguistic basis, philosophical basis. She has answered. Okay, she has come out with a justification. Yes, utility basis. You tell me.
Sir, I believe that our Home Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has done a lot to unite the various princely states and various states into one a nation. So if today we allow Jammu and Kashmir to separate from India, then other factions also will demand their independence. So we don't want to create that kind of precedence in front of us.
Very good. Good. I'll summarize that. He's saying that it should not be a bad precedent, which means now you give independence for Jammu and Kashmir, later on every other state, okay, will start to ask the same. Okay, so that would be not good for the unity of the country. Right? Fine. Now I just want you to think. Use. What is the use? Why Jammu and Kashmir has to be part of India? What is the use for India? Okay. Yeah, this point. Think of some other point. Yes.
Strategically, India should have Jammu and Kashmir because it gives India a position to a strategic importance is there for Jammu and Kashmir, sir. Because we know there is Siachen also in Jammu and Kashmir, so we want that portion also. It is with us only, but we want other portion also to be with us because we can leverage our resources more in more efficient manner against China and other neighbors who create problem with India, sir.
Good point. So can you show to somebody else who can say some other point? See, think normal terms. You are giving very good answers, intellectual answers. Both of you, one from Kerala and one from West Bengal. You've given intellectual answers. I agree with you guys. Now think as a normal person, normal use. Yes.
Another I like to say India's union means the Federation of India is not a result from the
no, leave all the technical. I'm sorry for interrupting, my dear. I'm sorry for interrupting. Leave all the technical terms. We have not got into the polity subject in depth. Okay, we are still a lay person. Assume that you are a normal human being. Okay, and think of the basic needs of human beings and think why Jammu and Kashmir is important for India. Any other points? Any other points? Yes, let's discuss any other points. Maheshwari, yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Maheshwari.
Sir. Sir, it has a lot of resources, sir, like plantation crops like cashews. It all grows well in that area, as I studied.
Cashew is a dryland crop. It grows in the western coastal region of India, Goa, Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra, Kasargod, those areas. Cashew nut is from West Coast, not from.
Not only cashew, sir, some other plantation crops are grown in that area, sir.
That is in Shivaliks, that foothills of northeastern foothills of Himalayas, it grows. Yes, I'm asking about Jammu and Kashmir. You are talking about Arunachal Pradesh, that side of Himalayas. Okay, the Indo-Bhutan border, Sikkim border, that areas you are talking about. Try, good. I like your spirit. Okay, try some other reason. You.
And it is about.
I'll give you a clue. You have used the word resource. Okay, resource. That is a correct word. From that, specifically tell what important resource we are getting from Jammu and Kashmir. That is very, very, very important for human life.
Sir, I didn't remember, sir.
We can survive without cashews, we can survive without plantations, but we cannot survive without this one aspect, which comes from Jammu and Kashmir. Yes. Somebody else. Thanks, thank you. Yes. Jyoti, yes, Jyoti. Jyoti from Andhra, is
like
it?
Jammu Kashmir. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, like Jammu Kashmir is very important because of Indus River. It is flowing there. Without Indus water, we can't survive. I think so.
Indus, most of the Indus River goes to Pakistan. Your answer is nearly correct. Water, okay, water is the answer.
Like, water is water.
Yeah, water is the main resource. All the important rivers, perennial rivers of our country, whether it is Ganges, whether it is Brahmaputra, and partially, yes, Indus River also, but most of the Indus River, it goes to Pakistan, but substantially, Punjab is and all getting benefited from the Indus River. So we can say the important rivers which ensures the lifeline for our country originates from the Jammu and Kashmir, from the Himalayan region, either within Jammu and Kashmir or near Jammu and Kashmir. The route to this important strategic sources of water is also through Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so that is the reason why, even for heavens to fall on us, whatever may happen, we will not leave Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, that is the main utility reason. And other reasons also, I agree. Whatever points you guys said, okay, I agree with that. Basically, resources. When we stand united, sharing of resources is easy. For example, now, China is threatening with blocking the waters of Brahmaputra. And when Pakistan made a problem with us, with India, okay, the Indian government said that we will cut off Indus water to you. We will build dams and stop water to you. And if you create over problem, whatever water we have stored in the dams, we will release and flood Pakistan. We said this. Okay, so what happens when the countries are not united, when the source of water is in other countries, there is always a struggle for the very existence of the country, very economy of the country. Okay, so that is why sharing of resources is important and unity is very important. Then of course comes other factors also. Okay, so now our idea is to learn why we need a united India. Okay, fine. Now, yes, any doubts? Yes, please. Now, if you are a small country, there is always a problem. Okay, I am once again emphasizing on the need for unity. When you are a small country, there is a problem. Take for example Nepal. Okay, now Nepal has passed a constitutional amendment saying that some areas which is bordering with India is their own. Okay, so the Indian territory, they have claimed that it is Nepalian territory. Okay, then recently last week another issue, they have claimed that Lord Ram is not born in Ayodhya, he is born in Nepal only. So Lord Ram is a Nepali. So culturally also they are trying to take the legacy of India, okay, or the traditional heritage of India. Now, how could this Nepalian government can do this, and why are they doing this? There are two reasons. One, they have China backup. Okay, so China is there, so happily they can come and threaten India. And why they want to threaten India? Okay, because they fear that India would have a problem with them. Smaller countries always have insecurity. So they tend to either jump with one big country or other big country. Either they have to stay with India or with China. Same with Sri Lanka, same with Bhutan, same with Bangladesh, same with Pakistan. Either China or India, they have to take sides. But if you want to remain as a neutral country, you have to be a bigger country. When you are a larger country with a larger market, you cannot be countered with. Recently, the idea of banning TikTok, I would not appreciate that because of some other reason. I'll explain later. But still, India can threaten China by these measures because India is the largest market. Since we are united and we are a larger country, economically, if we say that we won't buy your products, of course, they will have some dent, some leverage. We can force the thinking in the Chinese government to change the mindset on India. Okay, so that is the strength. When we are united, when we are larger population, we are more stronger, and that is the reason why India should be united. United India is must. For India should be united, we have to resolve the conflicts, and the process of resolving the conflicts is polity. Okay, yes, Arvind. Okay, so there were many who are willing to answer why Jammu and Kashmir. Since I've said this answer, we will move on. I'll give you a chance later on. Okay, fine. Okay. So I'll put it in simple words. First, every Indians has a different needs. They want different things. Okay, if some wants the government to go and invest in other countries, some people want the government to do business within the country. Some want the government to concentrate only in national security, protect the border. Some want the government to protect the small scale industries. Like that, everybody has different needs, different wants. And India, we know that we have different religion, different caste, different linguistic groups. So we are a very diverse country. And we have diverse needs. And this diverse needs will lead to conflict. And this conflict requires resolution of conflict. And finally, it leads to united India. I'll come. Okay. So diverse interests are there, or we can say needs in India for various groups. This results in conflict. Okay. So when this conflict has to be resolved, so this resolution of conflict resulted in united country. This leads to welfare. Okay, so this process of providing welfare to the people and resolution of conflict is what we call it as polity. Okay, this is what called as polity. Okay, this is the flow chart. It's very easy. Okay, so any country there will be different needs. Conflict will come. Conflict will result to division of the country. We don't want division. We have to stay united. To stay united, we need resolution of conflict. Whatever you do to resolve conflict is politics. And whatever you do to maintain the unity of the country is politics. Okay, so understand that. And we have some doubts that has been asked. Some people are asking the doubt. To repeat why Kashmir is important. Kashmir is important for various reasons. Primarily, Jammu and Kashmir is the source of all the perennial rivers of our country. Okay, that is Ganges, Brahmaputra, Yamuna or Indus, all these rivers have their origin in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. If Jammu and Kashmir is granted independence or it is being given to some other country, India will be at the mercy of other country, because the lifeline, the economy of the country lies in Jammu and Kashmiri state, from which we have all the sources of water. The glaciers, which is the source of the Indian river waters, are lying in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And very important, Pakistan knows that it is doing wrong, and Pakistan knows that it is involving in terrorism. Pakistan knows that terrorism is a bad option because it is killing its own people. Terrorism, they call it as a Frankenstein monster. Okay, they use the term Frankenstein monster. Meaning a monster which kills its own boss. So terrorism is killing its own people. But why should the Pakistan military use terrorism as a tool against India? Once again, there are many reasons. Once again, based on water, you must think. Desperately, Pakistan wants to attach Jammu and Kashmir because it wants security for its entire existence. Right now, the existence of Pakistan is the stake of India. India in future can build dams and flood Pakistan, or cut short of water for Pakistan and make Pakistan to kneel down before India. Okay, we can do that. We are having a geographical advantage over Pakistan because the source of water is in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, if Jammu and Kashmir for hook or crook is taken by Pakistan, Pakistan will have to never be worried, okay, about the water. Do you think the Pakistanis are so much concerned about Kashmiris? Okay, not at all. Not at all. Because there is an example in history. The same Pakistanis, when they had East Pakistan, nowadays Bangladesh, they treated the East Bangladeshi people as a subordinate, even though they are Muslims. Just because they spoke some other language, they were treated in a subordinate manner. Likewise, present day, they have least concern for Kashmiri people, but they just show that as if they are having concern because the underlying source is water. Very important. So man, mostly these underlying economic factors are always there. So I think now you understood why Jammu and Kashmir is important in utility perspective. National perspective, other answers you people gave is correct. So a student from West Bengal and Kerala, they gave very good answers. I agree with these points. But this is the primary point why Jammu and Kashmir is important for us. To our people, you go and tell water is very important, so we have to do this. They will not agree with it. Okay, so we have to bring in the national aspect and all as first point. That is the reason. Okay, got it? Yes, now it's clear. Okay, even the Galwan Valley, why actually the border conflict between India and China is in Sathyapaul Lake. That is some 100 kilometers, apart from Galwan Valley. Why Galwan Valley, the Chinese has to come and fight? Yes, Maheshwar. Yes. Yes, Maheshwar, please, you can interact. Yes, Maheshwar.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, China is attacking us on Galwan Valley because they want to expand their LAC in order to keep safe of their BRI project.
Very good.
Which is passing through Pakistan.
Very
that is
good.
the reason why they want to expand their LAC to Pakistan version of Kashmir so that they can connect both the areas. That may be the reason, because they connect to China and Pakistan, and they want to keep safe of the CPEC.
Very good. Okay, very good. China, Pakistan economic corridor. You are exactly correct. Okay, so maybe that, simple. Now, if Galwan Valley is occupied by China, it will have a shorter route in order to have access to a road it is building to Central Asia. Okay, China is building a road to Central Asia. Okay, if now to this road, suppose if China has to go and reach like this, if they are able to capture Galwan Valley, they can shortly go and catch like this the road. So there is a shorter distance so that they can go and join this important road. As the student right now told, it is called as CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor, which in turn joins with this border road with the Silk Road initiative of China, or we call it as One Belt One Road initiative of China. Okay, all those things you will learn, bilateral relation, learn. Don't worry about the technical terms now. Simple. Access to the main road to Central Asia will be shorter. That is what China is trying to acquire the Galwan. So whenever militaries act, whenever we are having a strong border issue, there will be an economic reason behind it. It may be resources, water resources, or accessibility. Some pass may be there, some valley may be there, so we will have a better accessibility to other countries. So that is why the area is very important. Any border issue will have an underlying aspect like this. Okay, fine. So now why I have to talk like this is because, since bilateral relation classes are on to you, you may be better understand why unity of India is important, why Jammu and Kashmir should stay united, and for Jammu and Kashmir and all border areas should be kept intact. The country should be stable. The country must be united. For that, we must have resolution of conflict. This resolution of conflict and welfare measures provided by the country is called as polity. Okay, so now how do we resolve conflict? The next question. Okay, now we know, I just want to freeze you that as of now you must understand resolution of conflict is polity. Polity is required to keep the country in a united manner. Fine. Now, how do we resolve conflict? That is the second area we have to discuss. We know that resolving conflict is polity, I repeat. And how do we resolve this conflict? Now, these 4 people, volunteers we chose, they had different food preferences. We first interacted with them. We heard them, what is their preference, right? So, hearing what is the requirement of the people is also polity. So, when government listens to people, get petitions from people, okay, when people file cases in the court of law, it is part of polity. When government hears grievances from the people, it is polity. After hearing what is the need for the people, the government will discuss, debate, and try to accommodate the interest with each other. And as I told you, okay, sometimes we try to be democratic, that is accommodate the interest of all. Okay, so we can say that okay, that is one of the volunteers said that, sir, I will go to a vegetarian restaurant because another person, okay, is a vegetarian. So we better go to the vegetarian hotel, accommodating. Okay. Second is, making a compromise. The same person saying that it's okay that I don't eat non-veg for one day. Okay, compromise. Okay, dominating. Telling that, okay, I eat only non-vegetarian. I'm a pure non-vegetarian, so I want all of them to come to non-vegetarian hotel only. And I want even the vegetarian to eat non-vegetarian. Okay, like that if you say, is a kind of domination. This is also one kind of resolving the conflict. Persuasion. You can reason with other individual. Okay, persuade other people. Okay, go and tell them, this is the actual need, so you please demand like this. Okay. So we find, some of them, during this corona times, some of the volunteers are coming and persuading people to accept a way of life that would contain the virus. Okay, so that is also persuasion. In politics, persuasion is also one way. So I just want to say all the process, all the mechanisms, all the institutions, all the process, all the mechanisms, all the institutions. When I say process, accommodative process, compromising, like that. Okay, mechanisms to resolve the conflict. Okay, elections. Okay, IAS, IPS, Indian Forest Service, RBI, SBI. Okay, like that, you are having these people, these mechanisms are there to solve your problem. Whenever you have a trouble, you go and give petition to the collector resolves the problem. Mechanisms, that is polity. Institutions, we have executive, judiciary, and we have court, we have chief minister, we have prime minister, we have president, these institutions. So they also help us to resolve in conflicts. So understand that all the mechanisms, processes, and institutions which is involved in resolving conflict will be called as polity. Okay. Now, when we involve all these things, we say it is decision making process. Got it? Decision making process. That is, in order to resolve conflicts, for everybody to live peacefully, we are making decisions. So ultimately, we can say polity is public decision making process. Polity is public decision making process through which public problems are resolved. Okay, fine. Now I require all of you to take note. I am going to define what is polity. So far we were discussing what is polity. So it was a casual discussion. So now take the definition that you are going to use it in the examination for the word polity. Are you ready? Yes. Polity is public decision making process. Polity is public decision making process. In order to resolve public conflicts. Okay. So polity is public decision making process in order to resolve public conflict. I'm repeating. Polity is public decision making process in order to resolve public conflict. So far what I have discussed, I have just told you in 2 lines. We want to be united, so we have to resolve conflict. Why we have to resolve conflict? There is conflict because people are naturally different. When we resolve conflict, that process is called as polity. So polity is public decision making process in order to resolve public conflict. And for you general studies students, polity, politics, political process, political system, all words are one and the same. Don't get confused. For political science optional students, PubAd students, you may have different meanings. Sociology students will be having different meanings for these terms. But I tell you, for a general studies perspective, as a beginner, don't confuse yourself. Later on, you will get, you can go for that and all. Right now, understand the word polity, politics, political process, political system, all are one and the same. Polity, political process, political system, political process, and politics are all one and the same. Yes. Now I want any one of you to define polity. Whatever I dictated, just read it out. Just I want to cross check that whether you have taken down correctly. So I want one of you to read out for me what is polity. Yes. Jyoti, we need some more volunteers. Jyoti, I'm very happy for you. You come for assistance and volunteering always. I appreciate. I need participation from others also. Yes, Jyoti, you can go ahead now.
Sir, polity is public decision making process in order to resolve public conflicts.
Very good, very good. Okay, so in short, what are the ways in making the public decision? It may be through mechanisms, institutions, processes. The processes are accommodating, compromising, dominating, and persuading, like that. Various processes are there. Okay, so this aspect and all is for your understanding. In examination, if you just write these 2 lines, polity is public decision making process in order to resolve people's conflict and provide unity and welfare for people, that is fine, well and good. That definition is fine. Okay, very good. Okay, fine. So we are stopping here right now. Okay, so I was talking about the techniques. No, we will go to that techniques. We will talk about the techniques and come back to the next part of the class. I'm going to talk about the techniques now, and then let us discuss what are the components of polity. Okay, when I say polity is public decision making process, inside that what exactly we are going to study, we should know. No, that explanation I will give. Before that, we will talk about the techniques. Okay, so diet, exercise, and sleep. And all of you know that these are important things for human beings. I'm just reinforcing, I'm just telling you again and again, so that you realize that it is very important in your preparation. Okay, some people in the eagerness to study, they'll skip their meals. UPSC aspirants, that's the problem, especially when you begin your preparations. No, you will have a lot of things to study, you will forget to eat. And attending the class also, no, you will get ready at the last minute and start attending the class, you will not eat. Think that, okay, let the class will be over. Okay, and now offline class is a different thing. Online class, altogether you will have another plan. Okay, let the class begin, we will switch on the video, and as we watch the video, let us have some snacks. Okay, good. Okay, but the point is, okay, you don't skip your meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Important thing is you have to do it same time every day. Okay, it is very important to take it at the same time, because your body will be able to balance your hormones, balance your enzyme production and other things only when the intake of food is in the same time every day. I'll just tell you an example. Supposing you have an indigestion a day, or your food pipe is burning, you will not be able to concentrate and study. Okay, you will not be able to listen to the class. But if you are taking food at the right time every day, your body will be very efficient. Other small problems will not be there. And moreover, if your stomach is empty, you cannot listen in the class, you cannot study well. Karl Marx says, eating mind is a thinking mind, or eating person is a thinking man. Or if you want to think, you should eat first. If you do not eat, your mind will be thinking about what can be done to take food. Okay, what will be the lunch, what will be the dinner, or what will be the break time I'll have, and what can I have. Like that thinking will be on the food rather than on the acquiring of knowledge. So this is very important. Same time, food take is very important. And especially before coming to the class, you should be taking appropriate levels of food. If you take extra food also, that will be a problem. Okay, then I will have to face the consequence in the class. You will be sleeping. Okay, so take an appropriate level of food. Then exercise is another important thing. And when I say exercise, I am not asking you to join gym. Wherever possible, take a walk. A 20 minutes brisk walk is enough. Now we are at home, so you have to consciously take for walking or skipping some kind of exercises, stretching exercise, at least 20 minutes, okay, a day, in order to keep you brisk so that you're steady. Some of you will feel, now this lockdown period, lot of time is there, okay, but still you are not able to study. Lot of time is there, you are not able to pursue your hobby, you are not able to be productive. That is because you are at home idle without doing any physical activity. Physical activity induces your mind to do a lot of work, makes you productive. If you are not doing any physical activity, automatically your mind will not be effective. So exercise is very crucial, that too during this lockdown period. After that also, to make your preparation effective, this aspect is very important. Exercise is very important. Okay. So especially after meal, to your breakfast, after lunch and dinner, immediately to sit and study will be difficult for you. Take a short walk, a 10 minutes walk, okay, to a nearby place and come and sit and study. That itself is enough for UPSC preparation. Okay. So that is what I mean by exercise. And whenever you are going to some malls, when you come to institute, try to take the staircase instead of lift. Okay. If your study place is very nearby, okay, or if your shop is nearby, don't take the vehicle, take a walk. Okay. So those kind of small activities, actually gives you the physical exercise as well as in a non-monotonous way. Okay. You are not doing it in artificially. You do it as part and parcel of your life. So it will be productive. Okay. So this is very important. And when I say exercise, organizing yourself is very important. Okay, this is the other place you will be missing it. Okay. What do you mean by this organizing? Many of us, okay, are poor in studies, not because of our ability or inability to study. Okay. Ability or inability to study, but it is just because we are not organized. Suppose this first class, after talking about all the things in the class, you go to your home and you want to take the book and read. But if you don't know where you have kept the book, you have misplaced your book, you will spend at least half an hour in searching the book. Just because you are not organized, you will be searching the book. Once you find the book, you will be exhausted. No more you will have interest to study. But an organized person, when you have the urge to study, when you know where the book is, if you will be able to easily take the book and start reading. Once you start reading, automatically the studies will continue for a longer period of time. So exercise involves keeping your things in an organized way. Okay, and very important. Okay, if your study place where you study, even cleaning, making your bed, arranging the books, arranging the table, cleaning everything, you take responsibility of yourself. That will be an exercise, as well as it will help you to be organized, know where you have placed your material, and you can be very effective. Most of the time, UPSC aspirants cluster a lot of material around them. When they want to study, they get frustrated or they get a fatigue because of seeing a lot of materials. Okay. So remember, only in the cinema, you will find an IAS aspirant is stacking a lot of books and studying. Okay, such kind of people will not clear the examination. You should keep minimal material, okay, before your table, and your material should be organized. Then only you can, effectively study for this examination. This is also very important. Okay, and third thing is sleep. Okay, sleep is very important part of your preparation. Okay, but please don't sleep in the class. Okay, some of you may think it in a wrong way. When I say sleep, sleep at an appropriate time and adequate time. Adequately you have to sleep. I need one volunteer. I would just want to interact. Okay, preferably engineering student. Yes. Yeah, Supriyo, yes. Okay.
Good
Can we
morning, sir.
interact, Supriyo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you experienced this in your college time? That you may be scoring higher marks, but if some of your friend is coming and asking you a particular doubt in your major subject, many a time you would have hesitated to answer, or sometimes, most of the times, we'll be not knowing the answer, right? Have you experienced a situation like that? Try to be honest.
Not really. Actually, means if I have understood it, means I would explain. If I couldn't understand, then I would fetch the person who can give me the knowledge. Means it's all about giving and taking.
Fine. My question was.
And free knowledge.
My question was, supposing there is an examination, Before the examination, you will study all night. Are you a person who study all night, or what is your way of studying?
I study means in college only means I study because engineering person means everyone will study for the examination only.
That's very honest of you. Very good. Okay, so just before the night, you prepare everything. You don't sleep at all. Okay, so directly go to the examination. You write every answer correctly. But the very next day, if you are asked to write the same answer for the question, you will face a difficulty. Why? Because
of course, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, sir. Means in BTech I faced this problem, but in MTech I genuinely had to study because in our college means our university, the number was used to they give very much less. Sir. That's why means it's comparative marking. So in MTech I really had to study a lot. Means to get that kind of marks which I got in BTech, which I got in ease in BTech. Means I got maybe 8.5 in BTech. It's very easy for me to get without means much hard work.
Yeah, there are very few universities which does like that, but most of the time, what happens because of the examination system we study through night and morning we write the answers. We'll forget the very evening. Next day we will not be able to reproduce it. Okay, the reason is, yeah, that's true. That is because we have not complemented our studies with sleep. What happens in sleep? During the sleep, our short-term memory converts into long-term memory. I repeat, the short-term memory gets converted into long-term memory. It's called as memory consolidation. In psychology, they call it as memory consolidation. We remember a lot of things that has happened in childhood. That is because we had enough sleep in childhood. Now, elderly people or middle class people, who are stressed in their life, who are working a lot in their life, they tend to forget many things. The reason is they will not get adequate sleep. Okay, even if a person who's having lot of problems in life, still he will be able to remember things because whatever happens he will sleep peacefully. Sleep actually helps in memory consolidation. Whatever is there in your short-term memory will be converted into long-term memory. In your college examinations, short-term memory remains on short-term memory and goes off immediately because you have not slept. But for UPSC, you require long-term memory. Whatever you read now, you should remember till the examination is over. It is better you remember till you finish your service or to the end of the life. But at least, okay, the minimum thing we expect that until clear you have to remember things. So for that long-term memory, you have to consolidate your study with you have to compensate your study with sleep, adequate hours of sleep. If you study for 16 hours a day and for another 4 hours in some other work, you sleep only for 4 hours, whatever you studied is unproductive. But at the same time, you study for 6 hours, sleep for around 7 to 8 hours, okay, that itself is enough for clearing this examination. But you have to do it daily. That is important. Okay, many people will not be able to do it consistently. That is the problem. Many think that you have to prepare for 14 hours, 16 hours. Yes, that is true. That is 1 month before the prelims examination, 1 month before the mains examination. That intensified preparation, I agree, it has to be done. But throughout the year, if you are expected to prepare for 14 years every day, and you must be a very great person, a superhero to do that task. A normal human being cannot do that. 6 hours of study with adequate sleep is the best way. Okay. Now, when I say 6 hours of study every day, you should not include that in your class hours. Very important. Many of you will include the class hours. Okay, the time you interact with the friends regarding UPSC for preparing, that and all is not agreed. 6 hours solid preparation with adequate sleep is fine. When I say adequate sleep, for a normal person it is 6 hours. Those who are working, ordinary person, fine. But for UPSC aspirant, it should be 8 hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Yes. Somebody is asking a doubt there. Arvind? No. Okay, now some people will ask, sir, no, it is very difficult for us. Continuous 8 hours, 9 hours sleep is very difficult. It's like, then split the hours. I would like to give the example of Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, the greatest pioneer of engineers, right? the basic models of engineering models like pulley system, lever systems, gear systems, and all. The prototypes was given by Da Vinci, that engineers, most of the engineers So how was he able to work like that? Okay, so how his mind was so productive that he was able to create prototypes for engineering for the world? That is because he had a methodology of working. He'll work for 4 hours, sleep for 4 hours. Another 4 hours he'll work, then another 4 hours he'll sleep. Intermittent sleeping helped him to consolidate, get concept clarity, and also helped to remember many things, so he was able to be productive. So don't think that when you kill your sleep and study, you will be able to be productive. That will happen in college, not in UPSC preparation, because UPSC requires long-term memory, that requires memory consolidation. And when I say this, some of you may ask, so what is the appropriate time to study, whether you have to study in the night or in the daytime or in the early morning. Whichever time is appropriate for you, you can do it. Okay, there is no thing, because some are good at some time. Okay, so you must identify when your mind is very active, when you are be productive. But remember, sleep, study cycle should be same time. For that matter, diet also, as I said, eating food, sleeping, as well as studying, it should all happen in the same time every day. Okay, that will enable your body to be more receptive. Okay, so understand this, because today, supposing you are waking up till 2 a.m. in the morning and studying, the next day the brain will be alert till 2 a.m. But if you try to sleep by 10 p.m. till 2 a.m., you will be rolling on the bed, you will not get sleep, because yesterday you have trained your mind to read till 2 a.m. in the morning. Likewise, today you are sleeping at 10 p.m. itself. Tomorrow you are trying to extend your studies till 12 a.m., 1 a.m. like that. Okay, after 10 p.m., whatever you study, you will be very less productive. The pages will be moving very slowly. That is because you have given a different training for your body yesterday. Okay, so your body is like an organization. It needs study instruction. Like for government, during corona epidemic crisis, central government has to give clear guidelines. On the basis of that, state government has to work, and every hierarchical unit has to work accordingly. If everybody acts according to their own wish, nothing can be done. Okay, so that is why instructing your body in the same time is very important, so that you will be very effective. See, a person who follows this methodology, without stress, without fatigue, they will be able to study well. Other people will keep complaining that, sir, I'm studying longer time, I'm getting bored, I'm getting tired, I'm not getting interested, so I'm getting feeling of anxiety. So all this thing is happening is because you do it in a different time. So every time you have to fight with your body in order to concentrate. But if you do these things, eating, sleeping, studying at the same time every day, you minimize the concentration with the body. So there is a cooperation with your body and your mind. So concentration will be maximum and productiveness will be maximum. Okay, keep this in mind. And moreover, even the type of subjects, fact oriented subjects, same time, concept oriented subjects, at the different time. For example, I used to read newspaper first thing in the morning. Okay, my friend, my companion, who's a roommate, he will read newspapers only in the evening after finishing his optionals and other things. So for him, when he read options in the morning, it will be very productive for me at that time. But for me, it won't be productive. But when I read newspapers, I will be maximum productive at the time. Okay, we just try to interchange in order to shoot, for group studies, and that we try to study same subject at the same time. Both of us, we try to accommodate each other's interest. But it was quite difficult for us, and we found that the preparation is lagging. So whatever you are best at doing, start doing that, but maintain the consistency every day. So that is the point I wanted to say. So remember these points. Okay, DES. Now one more point, happiness. Okay, so I have to talk about that, happiness. Okay, but before that, let us go into the subject, the third part. Let us see some polity stuff and then come back to the technique now. Okay, fine. So I'm now we are going to see components of polity, which means the subject matter of polity. What are we going to study under polity? Okay. Okay. So some people are asking for break. Okay. So the breaks will be very shorter. Exactly 5 minutes. The break will be. Okay. So try to come back by 5 minutes. Okay. So that would be good for both of us. Okay. Fine. So from now, exactly 5 minutes, you take the break and you can come back. Then we can start. Yes, Jyoti, what is your doubt?
Sir, you said like we have to resolve the conflicts for the welfare state, for unity of the India, like for welfare of the people.
Well, first,
We
unity
have
of
to
the
resolve the
country. When we are united, a united country will result in welfare of the country.
Like sir, for means for the welfare, how means recently government is going mostly for privatization of the things, mostly sectors going for privatization. How it will be benefit to welfare to the people? Because it is moving to like capitalist type of model set. How it going to welfare to the people? I'm
Yeah.
having general doubt.
Okay. For this question, in preamble we have a concept called as socialism. When I discuss socialism, no, I'll touch upon this crucial question that you asked. You have asked a very important question, pertinent question in Indian polity. When I discuss socialism and how it has changed and all, I can give an answer for this. That will be like around a half an hour discussion. That will be very helpful. Can you wait until that?
Yes, sir. I will wait. Yes, sir.
Just maybe in the next class or so we will be discussing. So no problem. This Thursday we will be discussing, I think.
Sir, I'm having another doubt regarding recently UP government is going to change so many states in the India going to change labor laws now, sir.
Yes.
Then it is moving towards the pro business model type. Then how the government is going to take steps, sir. Because government has to take steps regarding for the welfare of the people, and then is moving towards pro business industries. Is it good or bad? I'm just asking.
Okay. See, uh, by adopting two pro-capitalistic policies, okay, the government is actually trying to do so in order to provide welfare for the people, because we found in India that 1959, this 4 decades, whatever efforts that was taken by the government, we were not able to completely satisfy the needs of the people. We were able to do to some extent, but not completely. The population was growing very faster, and parallel to that, the economy also should grow. So we had to adopt a capitalistic form of government and capitalistic system of economy, which will generate more wealth and thereby result in more welfare of the people. See, to put it simply, in socialism, the government will have intention to serve people, but will not have money. In pure form of capitalism, government will have money, but it will not have intention to serve people. But an Indian form of government where we have socialistic intentions, welfare state. We want to provide welfare state, but we don't have money. So to create money, we are taking up the capitalist system. We believe that by diluting labor laws, we'll be able to allow small businesses to grow, and thereby we are allowing more and more people to generate wealth, which further results in welfare. In fact, now in book when we study labor laws laws are we will think that it is protecting the laborers, yes, but in most cases labor laws are creating a lot of trouble for small scale industries, small businesses like that. Okay, so that is why they were talking about the labor regulations. So as a bureaucrat, the present government's policy is that we have to adopt for privatization, deregulate labor, less and less regulation of labor, which would increase ease of doing business, which in turn will result in the welfare state, that is accumulation of wealth. Through that wealth, government can do things.
Sir,
See, I will take
in that one I have another doubt, sir.
I'll take that.
In that one labor laws.
Yes.
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Now there is one scheme called as Amma OD scheme, right? Amma OD scheme in your state, Andhra Pradesh. Can you explain that scheme?
Amma OD.
Yeah, what is that Amma OD scheme? Am I pronouncing it rightly?
Like government will. Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. Please explain. Please explain the scheme.
In that scheme, these children who are going to school, they'll got money through bank accounts.
Good. Through that scheme, what the government is doing is, any poor child who is continuing in school, for every year of continuation, 15,000 will be deposited in the account of the mother. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
yes,
how could your government is able to do that? It's a welfare measure. It's a socialistic measure.
Yes.
By adopting capitalistic policy. If not for your chief minister allows industries in Andhra Pradesh, if not for adoption of IT, if not for adoption of small scale industries and less regulation of labor, Andhra Pradesh state will not be in a position to do welfare for the people. And that is the crux, that is the unique thing about India. We are capitalistic in our methodology, but in our goals we are socialistic. That is why I asked you to wait for the discussion till socialism. Now for those people who did not understand this explanation now, wait for the discussion on socialism. I'll explain what is socialism, all the base, and then further I'll discuss the same issue, because it is a relevant question. What she has asked is a relevant question. Yes, Jyoti, now I think you...
So I having another, in this one only, in this in that labor laws, UP government made a statement regarding that they are not allowing to laborers in that state to move out of the state. They are not allowing to movement of the laborers in the state. It is regarding violation. It is regarding violation of the fundamental right regarding right to movement of the.
Of course, yes. It is
So
violation of right.
Then judiciary can review.
Yeah, somebody has to file a case. Some activist has to go and file a case. And I can feel an activist in you. I wish you go and file a case in Andhra Pradesh High Court. And definitely you will win the case.
Case is going on in UP.
Yeah, they'll win the case. It's a violation of freedom of movement, violation of freedom of occupation. It amounts to forced labor under Article 24. Okay, so don't worry. We'll be discussing all these issues. Don't worry. Labor laws, Article 23, 24, we'll discuss. Now, basics, okay? So please wait, Jyoti, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, done. Yes. Anyway, since only it's a break time, I went beyond and I had to give a higher kind of discussion and all. So for freshers, don't worry, these things will be repeated in an appropriate time. Okay, whenever corresponding articles are coming, Article 19, 23, 24, there I'll explain. So now you need not worry. Yes, Aravind? Somebody is asking question? Aravind?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, my optional subject is PSIR. So, should I start referring that PSIR now, or should I wait for the classes to start?
Now, since you have asked now, I'll tell this. It is better to start parallelly. The base books and all start NCERT and other things. Start reading now. Okay. After the class is over, I'll wait for you. At that time, you can ask because it is not common doubt.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So after the class, I'll do it. See, any doubts that you have related to preparation and other things, wait for the end of the class. No, now only polity related questions you can ask.
Okay, sir.
I'll wait last after 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:10. I'll wait for you. Other doubts you can ask. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Arvind.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, I want to know the difference between the accommodative and the compromise ways of resolving conflicts, sir.
Yes. In case of compromise, you will completely give up your interest. For example, I gave, this vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Okay. In that case, if a person is saying, I'm going to go to a vegetarian restaurant, I will sacrifice my interest to take a non-vegetarian food. That is a compromise. You are making a compromise. Accommodation is, you will be saying that, okay, let us go to a restaurant which serves both. Okay. You can take your food, I can take my food, and I'm not worried, I'm bothered that you're taking the other thing. Okay, that is called as accommodative.
Okay, sir. And one more doubt, sir.
I'll just complete.
Accommodative is
protect my interest plus your interest. Whereas compromises, I will sacrifice my interest. I'm okay that your interest, your need should be satisfied. So that kind of thinking is what we call it as compromise. Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir. I got it, sir. Sir, and one more doubt is, like, if we are a bureaucrat, then we have we should not compromise, no, sir. We can have only the other three ways of resolving conflicts, right?
No, we are not the process. We are the mechanism. We are the central people. No, we are the people. We facilitate accommodation, facilitate compromise. Sometimes, see, in polity, sometimes compromise must be there. Okay. For example, I'll take this example of Corona time. Okay. I have freedom of movement. You have freedom of movement. Okay. And the entire society, their right to health is there. Okay. All of them should be prevented from acquiring this disease. Okay. Now there is conflict of interest. Now we cannot go for accommodation here. We have to ask the individuals to compromise their right to freedom of movement. If I'm asked to stay in the home, I have to stay in the home. If I'm asked to refrain to open the shop, on normal times I have right to occupation, but during the corona times, the government IAS, IPS officers can ask you to not to open the shop, not to open the business. So in that case, you are expected to make a compromise. Polity, okay, compromise is made. The process is compromise. The compromise is facilitated by bureaucrat, IAS, IPS. The accommodation is facilitated by IAS, IPS, judiciary, chief minister, prime minister, okay, all the revenue officials like that. Okay, I think now we are able to understand, right? And IAS, IPS,
Yes,
are all their mechanisms through which the process is undergone.
Okay, so these ways are common for all the parties, for citizens, normal citizens, as well as bureaucrats or even judiciary people. Am I right, sir?
See,
depending upon the situation.
See, actually, in normal times, the person who asks for something to the government is the citizen. The person may be a bureaucrat, judge, a politician, or a common man. And the one who is facilitating this is the government side. So in politics, you have two. One is ruling people, ruled people, or government and the common people. So this entire process is for the common people, facilitated by the government. That is how we have to say.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah, got it, sir.
Yeah, and wait for the discussions. When we come to some concept will come later on, like basic structure doctrine. There I'll explain how it works between the government. Okay, now simple understanding. It is this polity is a public decision making process in order to resolve public conflict. Okay, and who resolves the conflict? Government. Whose problems is resolved? Public's problems is resolved.
Okay, sir.
So
And
let us do,
one more doubt, sir.
yeah.
Regarding the JNK issue, no, sir. I read somewhere like there are some small pockets of uranium in Ladakh. So will that be a reason behind that Indo-China issue? Can I include that or no?
That is
Because
not
I read somewhere in NCRT.
Of course, not only uranium. Okay, considering how Himalayas are formed because of superimposition of two plates. Okay, the Eurasian plate and the Indian plateau, Indian plate, two plates, and Himalayas is a sedimentary rock. Okay, which means earlier there was a sea in between India and Eurasia. When these two are coming together, land was uprising. This highlands which rose up is called as Himalayas. So automatically all the deposits have come up. So all the minerals and rich natural resources will be deposited in Himalayas. That is true. Okay, not only uranium, iron ore, maximum we have more than what you have in the plateau region of India, no, the Chota Nagpur plateau and those areas. More resources are there in Jammu and Kashmir, and not only Jammu and Kashmir, the entire Himalayan stretch. Okay, we have resources, but it is a rugged topography. It means exploitation of the resources is very difficult. Okay, so that cannot be the primary reason. Maybe in future, okay, Jammu and Kashmir is very helpful in tapping the resources because future technologies may evolve. The way we are progressing, artificial intelligence and other things, and robotics is also rapidly developing. So in future, it may be a potential point, but right now it is not.
Okay.
There are resources.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and uranium is compared to the uranium that is and other nuclear fuel resources that we have in other places. The nuclear fuel resources in Jammu and Kashmir and especially in Himalayas is lesser, so that won't be a significant point. And as Subratra,
Supriyo,
he said it is the strategic reason. It is trade link between China and Central Asia. That is the main reason. The Galwan issue is basically because of that, and that is other subject matter. Still, I put it short. There are other reasons. India already started isolating China. In G7, we are part where China is not a part. In case of coronavirus pandemic in WHO, we are isolating China. We are critical of China. We are telling China is the reason for everything, and we are going for a quad. Today's editorial. Today, if you have read Indian newspaper already, today's editorial we said India should be thinking twice before making Malabar a quad. That Malabar exercise, adding Australia, they should. The editorial is about that. So the quad also, we have given an open letter to have a cooperation with Japan and this thing. Day before yesterday, we have initiative in South China Sea. Not only that, even before that, we are having a good cooperation with Vietnam in containing China in South China Sea. So these actually also has resulted China to show a phase of that story is also there, which will not be told in media. But for us UPSC aspirants and bureaucrats, we will know. Okay, it's a constant conflict between us and India because we are competitors. India and China are competitors in the world economy. We want to outwit others and become the powers of the world, which dictates rules in the world. That's the true reality between things. Okay. Any other doubts? Now sometimes
no, sir, I'm clear. Thank you.
Good. For others, no. Sometimes I go fast because the answer is very specific. It will be dealt later on in Indian polity or in other subjects. For example, bilateral relation and modern India and other classes, they will do it from the basics. So sometimes when some questions answer, I go fast because I know that anyway it will be repeated from base in other classes. Okay. So in case if you are not into the point, those who are not reading the newspapers, the recent answer I have given, you might not have understood. Don't worry, give a casual learning. Understand, when you start UPSC preparation, first you have to casually open your eyes and ears and listen for the whatever discussion that is taking place. Don't bother about what you understand. Don't bother about the technical terms being involved. Slowly you will assimilate all these kind of discussions inside you. Now it's just like watching a Hollywood film for the first time. In your childhood, first time you watch the Hollywood film, no, even though it is in English, you know English better, but still you won't understand because you don't catch the accent. You don't know how they converse. But you watch some 10 Hollywood films from the 11th film onwards, it's going to be easy for you. Okay, so that is the attitude you should have. Okay, now for UPSC preparation, when you are exposed to new things, okay, aram se listen, feel free and listen to things. Okay, don't worry if you don't understand, it will be part of it. We faculties are very cautious when we give you our answers. Okay, fine, good, very good. So let us go into the next topic. It is components of Indian polity or subject matters. What are we going to study under Indian polity? Okay. In any country, I told you people will be having conflict. Okay, so any conflicts will be there. What is the primary tool with which people resolve their conflict? I said polity is the process of resolving conflict. What is the primary tool with which they'll resolve the conflict? All of you will say judiciary. But remember, judiciary is the secondary tool or secondary stage of resolving the conflict. The first way in which we resolve the conflict in any given country, it may be USA, it may be India or Pakistan. Okay, the country resolves the conflict in itself through law. Okay, now what is a law? Take down. What is law? Law is a common rule. Law is a common rule made in the society, made in a country. You can use the word country. Law is a common rule made in a country. To manage the country. Okay. So I'll repeat, law is a common rule. Is made in the country to manage the country. Now when I say rule, it is not just rules. Okay, it is a set of rules actually. Okay, law is not just one rule, it is a set of rules. Law is a set of rules. So we can say law is the rules made in the society to manage the society. Can any one of you read it for me quickly? You should raise your hand to speak. Yes. Yes, Pooja, please read it for me. Yes, next, fast, we don't have time. Yes. Okay, I'll help myself. Okay, Priya, yes, Priya has come for the help. What is law?
Law is a common rule made in a country to manage the country.
Good, fine. Okay, put it in simple words. There will be experts, they will be defining law, a big thing, Give your definitions in very simple words. That is the best way to clear this examination. Okay, so law is the basic rules made in order to manage the country. Okay, fine. Okay, so whether we will be studying law under polity, actually the subject matter of polity, very important, is law. So law will be the important component to study law. But for UPSC preparation, not all the law you have to study. because there are thousands of law in our country. If you see the parliament and the state legislative assembly, state level, central level, many laws has been created from the British times to now. For that matter, last year alone, 2019 alone, 30 plus laws has been passed. Okay. So whether we have to study all the laws, it is difficult, not possible. Okay. Current affairs, whatever laws that they are discussing in the newspaper, from that only they will ask questions in the prelims, mains and interview. Keep this in mind. Okay. So overall, when we say polity, law is the important component of it. It is a subject matter of polity. But that is a C. We cannot complete it. For UPSC preparation, specific preparation is required. So you have to study only those laws which is coming in the newspapers. Don't get carried away by all the laws. Okay, sometimes when you're talking with your friend will come and just ask for just to poke you. Okay, so they will be interested in a murder case, so they'll come and ask you to tell about the CRPC provisions which related to murder. Okay, all the provisions, IPC provisions. If you know, better, but they're not going to ask in the examination. Okay, so only that law which is currently under the discussion parliament, or people are asking for change in the law. So those laws you can, for example, recently we have continuous rape cases, especially of children in Tamil Nadu, for example. It's happening throughout the country, but last 1 week, 1.5 week, 2 consecutive incidences. You have to learn the POCSO Act because it is news. Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse Act. Okay, POCSA. So this is what you keep in mind. Okay, so law is a component of polity. In that you are not going to study all the law which is in current affairs. You are going to study for examination. Okay, that is only possible. Then who makes the law? The law is made by the legislature. The unit or the group of people who makes law is called as legislature. Okay, legislature. It is not one person, it is group of people. Who are they? They are all our MPs and MLAs. Okay, MP and MLAs. So every 5 years we people vote and send some representatives to state capital to discuss and make law. They are called as MLAs, member of legislative assemblies. Now many of you may know this. Then MP, member of parliament. Okay, we send the representatives. Okay, they make law. They are called as legislatures or law making body. Okay. In India, we have law making body 2 levels, one at the central level and state level. In Delhi we have parliament, in our state levels we have Vidhan Sabhas. Okay, so or we can call it as state legislative assemblies. So okay, we can say that the legislature at the union level, at the union means central government level, we have parliament. The state level we have state legislature. Okay, state legislature. Okay, parliament, and we have state legislature. Now, what do you mean by parliament? Parliament is a place of people where people come and talk about politics. where they come and decide about the country. So parliament is where our MPs go and discuss. Okay. Now 2019 we voted MPs in entire India. Most of them people voted for BJP political party. So BJP MPs went, and some Congress, some regional parties like that. From each political party, some people went. So when people vote and send people to a lower house, it's called as Lok Sabha. And why it is called as Lok Sabha? Underline the word Lok. Lok means people. Sabha means where people are represented, gathered. It is people's house, which means this is the house where the grievances of the people will be discussed, debated. When I discussed about polity, I told polity is public decision making process to resolve conflict. Fine. To resolve conflict, first what should happen? You should first hear to the people. Okay. See, now I am conducting the class, online class. If there is some problem for you in listening to the lecture, if I am not asking the questions to you, if I am not allowing you to interact, if I am not hearing you, how could I know that there is a problem? No, I will never be able to know the problem. So there must be some mechanism for me to hear the problem. So that is why we have these interaction mechanisms. Likewise, Lok Sabha is the place where people's problems will be discussed and then appropriate decisions will be made. That decision is what we call it as law. Law is the final decision made, but before that, discussion will be made in the Lok Sabha. Then we have another house called as Rajya Sabha. Okay. The word Rajya means states. State of Maharashtra, state of Tamil Nadu, state of West Bengal, state of Kerala, etc., etc. Okay. So we have the word Rajya Sabha. Okay. So Rajya, which means the state. Lok Sabha, people's views will be heard. In case of Rajya Sabha, states will be heard. Okay, which means whenever a law is made, sometimes the law will be okay for all the states except one state. Okay, maybe now they are making a decision regarding reopening of the schools and colleges. There is a news item today in the first page of Hindu. Okay, it says some states want it in August, some state wants it in September, some states has not decided, like Tamil Nadu. Okay, so Tamil Nadu usually decides, belatedly only. Okay, anyway, that's for joke. However, okay, some states have not decided. That's because, okay, each state have a different interest. So when a law is commonly made in Lok Sabha for the entire country, state views will be shared in Rajya Sabha. So that is why we have two groups. In one Sabha, that is one house, one gathering, law will be discussed, a public decision will be made, keeping in mind the interest of all people. But in Rajya Sabha, the same will be kept in the, keeping the interest of all the people. For example, GST is there, goods and services tax. In Lok Sabha, while it is passing, every people will pass it. Okay, it's good. Okay, because in the long run, GST, goods and services tax, is good for the entire country. But for manufacturing states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and all, it is not good. For that matter, Gujarat also. Okay, so when it comes to Rajya Sabha, the representatives of these states will come and say, no, we don't want GST. Or they will say that we need some change in the GST provisions. So the goods and services tax, some exemptions you have to give for our state, because our states will be at loss. Okay, so here, that is why we have two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is to discuss and arrive at decisions keeping in mind the entire people of India's problems. Here states' interest will be negotiated. Rajya Sabha. Now, Lok Sabha is also called as lower house. Or house of people. Rajya Sabha is called as upper house. Okay, and it is also called as Council of States. Rajya Sabha is also called as, see, there are different names they call, that's all. So Rajya Sabha, Council of States as well as upper house. Lok Sabha, lower house as well as House of People. Now what do they call Lok Sabha lower house and Rajya Sabha upper house? In one class, one of my friend answered saying that, sir, Lok Sabha is located in the first floor, Rajya Sabha is located in the second floor. So that is why they have said it is lower house and upper house. No, that is not the reason. Okay, so I'll come. Okay, so in case of upper house, it is the House of Elders. It is also called as House of Elders. Okay, it's called as House of Elders, meaning, okay, senior politicians will be part of the Rajya Sabha. Senior politicians will be part of Rajya Sabha. Okay, fine. Now there is a question or clarification that is asked by one of the student. Okay, what is the name? Okay, Jay. Yes, Jay, you have asked the question that whether we have to take note parallelly or I should know, you should be waiting for a dictation. See, whenever I put something in the board, it is important. Okay, so now if I draw a diagram and say polity and I put like this, exactly right like this. So you can understand law is component of polity. And since these keywords are important, I am writing it on the board. So that also you have to take note parallelly. So that is how I write it. Explanation part and all, I will not write it in the board. I will try to give example and explain that you can listen and you can give a short note, that's all. Okay, so parallel note taking, but don't take everything that is said here as notes. Something where I give stress, when I say, I'm repeating the point that is important, you have to take note, that must be in your notes. Whatever I write it in board, that points must be in the notes. And when I say hold on and take dictation, okay, so as of now I've given two dictations. One is what is polity, what is law. Okay, two dictations that is given. That I give dictation is because that has to be written in the examination. Okay, for easily reading and replicating in the examination, I'm giving you that. Okay, so this is how I teach, this is the approach we go. Okay, so you have to go for a parallel notes, and wherever required I give enough pass. If you want to be repeated, you can very well raise your hand or put your text in the chat message. I will be able to respond. Okay, so otherwise these things and all you have to take note. Okay, that's why I'm keep writing. Yes. Yes. Now one person has asked, House of, that is Council of States, Rajya Sabha is House of Elders. Can it change the law that is created by Lok Sabha? There is a process for it. Now don't worry about the process. There is a separate class where we will be talking about Parliament and the process of making law. As of now, we are learning the basic ideas. What is what like that. So with respect to Rajya Sabha, okay, what happens when they reject the law? What happens they amend the law? We will see it later. There is a process for it. They can do it. There is a process for that. We will see it later. Right now, Rajya Sabha is just a House of Elders. You keep it in mind. It is when people debate there, they have to debate keeping in mind the interest of the states. Who asked that doubt? Anand Karthik, is that fine? You can either say yes or text yes in the chat box. Okay, done, Anand. Fine. So first, law. Who is making law? Legislature. In the union level, we have Parliament. Parliament has Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. We have seen them. Okay. So Lok Sabha is representative of people. Rajya Sabha is representative of states. Okay. Now we have state legislature. In state legislature, we have state legislative assembly, and state legislative council. Okay, and the states, we have state legislative assembly and state legislative council. Same like, to discuss the problem of entire country, we are having parliament. To discuss the problem of a particular state, we are having state legislative assembly. Okay, so we are sending the representatives, MLAs, to state legislative assembly. Okay. The state legislative council is to give representation for selected groups of people, or I should say it represents the unrepresented. Okay, it represents the unrepresented. Okay, it represents the unrepresented. What do you mean by unrepresented? See, supposing there is educated class, teachers, okay. So teachers will be busy in teaching in schools and colleges. Now these teachers should be given some role in making law, but they will not come and stand in the election. So what we can do, we can set a small portion and allow the teachers to come and represent in the state legislative council. Otherwise they will not be represented at all. So state legislative council is a place where we try to give representation to those who are unrepresented. Okay, or those who requires representation. So there will be representation from local body, there will be representation from various sections like that. So in the state level, we may have two legislatures. One is two houses, lower house state legislative assembly, state legislative council. The member of state legislative assembly is member of legislative assembly. The member of state legislative council is member of legislative council, MLA, MLC. Now, not all the states have, state legislative councils. Example, Karnataka has a state legislative council. Tamil Nadu does not have a state legislative council. Okay. UP has a state legislative council, whereas Kerala does not have a state legislative council. So what happens is, the state may have state legislative council or it may not have. Okay. But however, in India, to make law, we have two levels of institution, one at the union, one at the state. The union, we have the parliament, the state, we have the state legislative assembly and the state legislative council. The parliament has Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? Okay. Okay. So we have discussed that in polity we have law. To create law we have legislature. We have seen there are two legislatures at the union level and the state level. Then to implement the law, okay, somebody is creating law. See, in India we have 545 MPs in Lok Sabha. All 545 people coming together and running the government, not possible. Okay, so from the MPs, from Lok Sabha and from Rajya Sabha, okay, a group of people will be selected. They are called as executive. And in this executive also there are two types of executive: political executive and permanent executive. Okay, political executive. And now who is this political executive? Political executive is nothing but the Council of Ministers. called as Council of Ministers. Now in India, right now we have Prime Minister Modi and his Council of Ministers. We have Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, we have Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, okay, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar. Like that, we have various ministers. So the Prime Minister and his group of ministers is called as Political Executive, the Council of Ministers. Okay, now here the word council means what? Group. People of, group of people coming together for a particular purpose is called as a council. Okay, the meaning of the word council is group. So the group of ministers is called as Council of Ministers technically, and this Council of Ministers is the political executive. Now permanent executive. Who is the permanent executive? Yes. Any doubts? I want interaction. Can anybody raise your hand and tell me who's the permanent executive, please? First. Haripriya, yes. See, I find that a lot of people are raising your hand. I'm sorry. I'm just giving the choice randomly and first come for first, okay? So those who are not getting the chance, please don't worry, you will be getting, okay? So randomly I'm trying to distribute the choices for everybody. Yes, Haripriya.
Sir, private executive with the bureaucrats selected like the IAS officers and IPS officers.
Very good, very good, very good.
Excellent. Irrespective of the regime and the central government.
Very good. So starting from the cabinet secretary to the lastmost sectional officer, okay, they are called as permanent executives. So all the bureaucracy, just think now, bureaucracy, the entire IAS, IPS, Group A, Group B officers, SSC officers, all of them will come under the permanent bureaucracy. And of course, since IAS, IPS is at the top level, usually they are being associated with permanent bureaucracy. Okay, they have the real powers. Okay, so the IAS and IPS. So in fact, when I asked you the question, Haripriya, you should have said, sir, in future, I am going to be the part of.
Yeah. Yes.
Good, good. That's the spirit. Okay, just always think, no. Is one more thing. If you are just thinking that let me give a try for this examination, if I get, I will go through this examination and serve. You will never become an IAS, IPS. You will keep dreaming only. But I expect all of you to have the conviction that you already have become a civil servant, and that is your destiny. Once you have decided, no, nothing will, stop you from becoming the officers. Okay, so when I ask hereafter who's the permanent bureaucrats, and you should say, sir, it is us, it is me. Okay, like that you have to answer. Fine. So anyway, I'm just adding on to what you're saying, Haripriya. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it is the permanent bureaucracy. Okay, the executive, the bureaucrats is called as the permanent bureaucracy. They are called as the executives. Okay, so they implement their work. Okay. Now, executives too, there are two levels of executive. One is union government. At the central government, Prime Minister Modi and his Council of Ministers is union government. State level, okay, you have state government. So we have students from various states. Okay, so your own respective chief ministers and their Council of Ministers. In Tamil Nadu, yes, Chief Minister Mr. Edappadi Palanichami and his Council of Ministers is the state government, along with the permanent executives. Okay, so we have government at 2 level. We have law-making body at 2 level. Okay, so we will be learning about law, which is in current affairs under polity. We will be learning about legislature. We'll be studying about executive, okay, in polity, and we'll be also studying about judiciary. That is also under polity. Okay, so when I say judiciary, we have Supreme Court and High Court. Supreme Court is for the entire country, High Court is for the respective states, sometimes for 2 states common. Okay, as of now, assume Supreme Court is for the entire country, High Court is for respective states. So we have judiciary. So we have law, The law is made by legislature, implemented by the executive. The law is checked, or the judiciary which oversees the executive and legislature. Okay. So the word they are using is called as adjudication. Adjudication. ADJUDICIATION. Adjudication is done by the judiciary. Okay, fine. Now these three organs, okay, legislature, executive, judiciary, is called as principal organs of the state. Called as principal organs of the state. It's called as principal organs of the state. Why? They are basic institutions of the state. All other institutions are dependent upon these three institutions. Okay, all other institutions, whether election commissions, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, okay, CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General, every other person, institutions come under this only. These three institutions are the base institutions in polity. So that is why they are called as principal organs of the state. Are you able to understand? Okay, principal organs of the state. Okay, fine. Now we will freeze it here. So as of now we have seen we have not completed this topic, components of polity. We have seen the principal organs of the state. There are other institutions also. So today what you have to carry on from the class is point 1, polity is public decision making process in order to resolve the public conflicts. Law means common rules made in a country to manage the country. Then I am talking about the components of polity. In components of polity, we have law as the primary component, and executive, legislature, judiciary are principal organs of the state. Fine. And while talking about the techniques that should be followed, or the important habits that should be inculcated for UPSC preparation, is a consistent diet, a consistent exercise, a minimal exercise, and sleep and study process. Okay, so these things we have discussed in the coming class. Okay, that is the next class. We'll be talking about the fourth thinking, the happiness and the motivation part, and all, how to get motivated. Then we will be seeing remaining components of polity, and we will be going to see what are the books to be read. Very important point. Okay, what is the books to be read? Point 1. Second, we are going to discuss what is the approach to study Indian polity. Okay, so that thing is very important. Until that, you can wait. After that, you can start studying polity. So the next class I will be doing that. Okay, so far, this information is enough for the first class. Okay, fine. Now I want one volunteer to whom I just want to ask small questions to consolidate. Yes, one volunteer. I'm going to ask questions from whatever I've taught today. Yes, any one volunteer, fast. Yes, Kailash. Good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, friend. Yes. Can we?
Tell me, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me what are the three principal organs of the state?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I can't able to hear.
Yeah. Can you tell me what are the three principal organs of the state? Can I repeat the question? Okay. Can we have some other volunteer, please? I'm sorry. Yeah, Vishnu, Chaitanya.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi, Vishnu. Yes, please tell me.
I think it's legislature, executive, and judiciary.
Very good. Executive, legislation, judiciary is the principal organs of the state. When we say legislature, in simple words, what is it? Law-making body. Okay, fine. What are the two levels of law-making bodies, legislatures we have in India?
Union and state, and we have Yeah, at the union level, we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha for making laws, in which the country's interest as a whole is represented, whereas in Rajya Sabha, it is a state level interests are represented, and it's also called the House of Elders.
Very good.
And when you come to the state level, we have we have a council.
Council of
when we
State.
come to the state, we have we have
State Legislative Council.
State Legislative Council and State Legislative Assemblies. So MLAs are members of assemblies, and MLAs are also the members of councils. If I'm not wrong, there I have a confusion.
You're right. MLCs, members of the Legislative Council. So this far, it is fine. And can you tell me the definition of Indian polity? Polity.
Indian polity, the processes. Yes, the processes involved in conflict resolution to ensure the welfare of the state as a whole is called polity.
Okay, you have written it in your own words. I appreciate that. Good. That is a good definition. Okay, I've changed the words here and there, but the meaning is same as I said. You can do that. You should be doing that. Good. Very good.
I couldn't go back to the notes. That was on another page.
Sorry, you cannot. You couldn't.
I couldn't go back to that page where I wrote that definition. That's why I told it in my words.
Yeah, that means you have understood well. That is a satisfaction for me. Even if you are telling in your words, you have not deviated from the meaning, which means I have done the job. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Then, can you tell me what is law?
Law, no, I forgot. Sir.
Yeah, you just think of that.
Common rules made in a country.
Common rules made in a country to manage the country. That's all. While polity is public decision-making process to resolve the conflict for the welfare of people. Okay. In case of law, it is the common rules made in the country to manage the country. That's all. Okay. Try to make things as simple as possible. Okay. Fine.
Sure,
so now today I end this session with this topic. As I said, this topic is yet to be completed, and I've also told you next class we are going to deal with books to be read, approach to study Indian polity, where to start from, how to start from, which NCERT books, everything will be told next class. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you all of you, and from now another 10 minutes I will be waiting here. So any other doubts you can ask. Okay, so any doubts related to today's class or other doubts, anything you want to interact, you can interact. Okay, I'm available. Okay, so others can leave. Those who find that, you can leave. Yeah. Haripriya, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So I have a doubt regarding this Council of States, Rajya Sabha.
Come again, Council of
States, Rajya Sabha, sir. You said about executive.
Yes, continue.
Sir, you said that it's exclusively made for state representation. That is, states should be able to espouse their views and opinions. But I have a doubt, why can't the Lok Sabha itself is a representative, right? It's a constituency. And all these constituencies, they form a state. So why can't the MPs themselves, the MPs of Lok Sabha themselves espouse the views of states? Why should we have a separate organ?
Yeah, now what happens is, in India, we have elections for the national level at a different time, for the state at a different time. Just imagine, the central government is BJP government, okay? Then supposing in Tamil Nadu elections is taking place, and 2021, and what happens is, people are dissatisfied with the central government, so they vote for DMK. Just assume I'm not making any propaganda.
Yeah, I hear that.
Okay, assume that it happens. Now what happens is, the real interest of the state will be completely different, because the state government belongs to another political party, or the state government election has taken place after some 2 years or 3 years after the central election. So people's mindset have changed, their interests have changed. So when the central law is made in the Lok Sabha, it may be against the interest of certain states alone. Okay, so there must be a constant check. Okay, the people's view has to be represented. Okay, so that is there. And moreover, people know when they vote for national election, they will vote in one way. When they vote for the state level, they will vote in the other way. Okay, for example, it happened in Telangana's case. Telangana, the state level they voted for one political party. Well, it comes for the central government, they voted for another political party. Okay, but the time period is very short. So which means people are voting for different issues, and issue of entire country is not always the issue of the particular state. Now I'll take an example of say West Bengal. I'll give an example. Teesta River. Okay, in the interest of the entire country, we want to make a deal with Bangladesh and share the Teesta River water with Bangladesh. Okay, so you ask a citizen from Tamil Nadu, shall we go and share Teesta River water to Bangladesh? Tamil Nadu citizen will vote and say yes, go ahead, central government. But when it comes to West Bengal government, they will say that no, we cannot share because most of our livelihood, most of West Bengal citizens' livelihood is based on the Teesta River, especially eastern West Bengal. Okay, that is the eastern border of West Bengal. So what happens is difference in interest is there. Okay, like example, GST example I gave. For the entire country it is good, so all countries will vote for the GST, acceptance of GST. Some states will be opposing it. Okay. So Lok Sabha has to deal with the problem.
One is,
yeah.
Yes, please, I will take that.
Please excuse me. It's just like NEET also, NEET exam. Recently, Tamil Nadu, many of them are saying that the number of medical entrants into the government medical seats is less than 100. When it is about 1,000, every year, it has been less than 100 this year. So people of Tamil Nadu is against NEET, but for the entire country, they say NEET is good. Okay, so when you think for the entire country, a particular issue may be good, but when you see it in particular state, it may be different. That is why we have Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha tries to bring a balance between national interest and the local interests.
Okay. So can the MPs individually espouse that, sir? Why should they have to form a council like that? So that is a major doubt which I have now.
Sorry? Come again.
So why the MPs yeah, I'll do that. So the MPs basically represent the constituencies from the state.
Yes.
So why can't they actually espouse it? Why should we form a separate organ for state itself? It's increase in cost, all that thing. So based upon that ideology, I want to know that.
Which place are you from?
I'm from Tamil Nadu, sir.
Tamil Nadu, exactly which part of Tamil
Nadu? Chennai. Chennai.
Okay. So now here, now let us talk about this issue, constituency versus state. Okay, so this today Supreme Court is taking up the case related to this 8-ways road, highways, right? 8-ways road. Highways.
Yeah, Chennai to Salem.
Okay, so I asked where are you from. That question is just to relate to you. I want to give a relative example. That is why. So today Supreme Court is taking up the case related to the Chennai Salem 8-way highways. And when it comes to the individual constituency, maybe take the Salem constituency, people are against it. But if you take for entire state, you are from Chennai, I am from Chennai, I would welcome the 8-way highway because, okay, considered to be in Chennai metropolitan city and a large economic hub, such a road when it is built, it actually develops Chennai because Chennai is a port city. The entire product which is coming from the hinterland would be transported throughout Chennai, so there is development for Chennai and the entire state of Tamil Nadu. Economy would grow, but it is in a livelihood issue for the particular constituency people. Now, just imagine the MP of that constituency. Okay, when he speaks in the Lok Sabha, he will speak for his constituency. But when it comes to a Rajya Sabha MP representing Tamil Nadu, he would reflect the views of the government and say that 8-ways highway is required. Okay. Now this is what we call it as democracy.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you're able to understand now, no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yes. Now better picture. Yeah. Another one, sir. So this is regarding the state MLC and MLA. So why some states have bicameral legislature and other states have unicameral legislature? What is the major distinction between them? The criteria which defines it.
So that's okay, fine. Now the purpose of having two law houses is, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, is you want to check that law is good for everyone. So as I told you, Lok Sabha law will be discussed in the national perspective and constitutional perspective, and then the law is passed, then goes to Rajya Sabha. There it is spoken in Rajya Sabha's perspective, the state's perspective, and we find a common ground, right? So the reason for having two houses is we are able to listen to multiple viewpoints and arrive at a common law. That is the purpose. In state level, okay, in state level, if we are having two houses, the lawmaking process will be longer. And at the same time, to check if the state law is wrong, state laws can be reserved to the president. So there is a check. Suppose state legislative assembly is creating a wrong law. We don't have a state legislative council. The law can be reserved by the governor to the president, and then president can have a check on it. So we can ensure good laws are passed. So there are two groups of people involved, so good law will come. But in case of parliament, definitely Rajya Sabha should be there because second institution is not there. But in case of states, no need of second institution because there is president. And you may ask, some states still have state legislative council. That is because some states are bigger in their territory. For example, UP and all is actually, we can say it is a continent. Okay, in terms of Europe, no, it is almost equal to having the entire European Union.
Largest population.
Population, yes. Okay, so 18 crores. Okay, compared to Tamil Nadu also, it's almost double. Okay, and in these states, there will be no true representation at all. Okay, meaning if you have only one house, the number of groups in that state represented will be less. So in order to enlarge the representation, larger states usually will be having a state legislative council. In case of smaller states, there is no need for state legislative council because it actually delays the process. Because already due representation is given for all sections, no need for second house. Whichever state which is larger, there is no representation, we can go for state legislative council. Okay. Now you may ask, Telangana is a smaller state comparatively. Why should they have state legislative council? Tradition. Because they separated from Andhra Pradesh, which was the biggest state in the South India, entire South India. Andhra Pradesh was the biggest state, so it had a state legislative council. When new Telangana government formed, they followed the tradition. Okay. Now in the future, they will realize the redundance, or they will realize that there is no use of state legislative council, and they may call for removal of state legislative council. But by textbook, the reason for state legislative council is higher representation, to give representation to larger section, because we saw polity is about more communities' views are being heard and coming at a common decision.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And I apologize to the participants because I felt that I dragged a lot of time. So sorry for that.
Sorry?
I apologize to other participants, sir, because I felt that I dragged too much time now. That's what.
Okay. Not a problem. Freshers will lose some interest, no? When I can that you are a regular newspaper reader, so you are able to ask these questions. The new freshers will find it very difficult, and first they'll start hating politics, especially. And that is why I said let's discuss after the class. Okay, it's always good to have a striking conversation. Thanks for the conversation.
Yes. Thank you for your patience, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes. Next one. Priya. Yes, Priya.
Sir, could you explain me about the roles of executive, sir?
Good. That is the next topic. Actually, I will be dealing in the next class. I will be talking about the role of, because there are two roles for legislature, executive, not only what we spoke now. There you will get clarity. So that will be the first part of the next class.
Okay, sir. Sir, on what basis the Council of Ministers in the executive will be selected, sir, from the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha?
It's the choice of the Prime Minister. Okay, the Prime Minister is chosen by the President based on whether he is having majority or not. Okay, after that it is the Prime Minister's choice. In state it is the Chief Minister's choice. That is the Council of Ministers. Permanent bureaucrats, once again, the entire Council of Ministers will decide who should be the Chief Secretary, who should be Health Secretary. For example, Recently in the corona crisis, the previous health secretary was changed and new health secretary was appointed. And there was a lot of
Yes, sir.
reshuffling of IAS, IPS officers took place, entire discretion of the Chief Minister and his Council of Ministers.
Okay, sir. Sir, if a law is framed in legislature, it could be stopped at the level of executive also, sir?
Yeah, yes,
Or
yes.
only
It could be stopped because the law can become an act only when president signs. So the union government can advise the government not to sign the law.
okay, sir.
Yeah, as of now,
Okay.
just hold on. You just understand that executive can stop the law. When I come to the executive part,
Okay.
I'll explain how it happens. When we come to veto power and all,
Okay.
no, you will get more clarity.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, any other doubts? Deepika, yes, you can ask a doubt.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Audible, you can continue.
Sir?
Yes,
Yeah,
you are
okay.
audible. Deepika, you are audible, you can continue.
Okay, sir. The Prime Minister and Council of Ministers are can be in either of the house, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, sir?
Yes, yes, they can be from both houses. We will see the reason why when we come to Parliament. Why they can be from both executive and from both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I will explain that. As of now, for your question, yes.
Okay, sir. Then in Lok Sabha, the ruling party should show the majority to come as the ruling party.
You are right. You are
Whether
right.
it is in Rajya Sabha also, they want to show the majority. So
No,
BJP
only
is
in
the
Lok
ruling
Sabha.
party, then they want to show the majority in Rajya Sabha also.
No, they need not show the majority in the Rajya Sabha. They have to show majority only in the lower house. Same is at the state level. It is enough to have majority only in state legislative assembly, not in the state legislative council. That is itself is enough. In state
Is
legislative,
there any reason, sir?
of course, as I told you already, the lower house is the directly elected house, directly elected by people. And in a given time, there can be majority in one house, that is Lok Sabha, not a majority in Rajya Sabha. That is the usual thing. Okay, because people vote alternatively. 2019 I'll vote for BJP, 2021 I'll vote for DMK, then once again 2023 I'll vote for BJP. Okay, it may be different election, national general, but alternatively I'll vote, people will vote. So same time majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is not possible, political stability will not be there. And that is one practical reason. Philosophical reason is Lok Sabha is the elected house, okay, directly elected by the people. So the Prime Minister should enjoy majority in Lok Sabha, that is enough. No need of Rajya Sabha.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Srivatsan, yes, you can ask your doubt.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good
Sir,
afternoon.
my doubt is regarding Jammu and Kashmir, sir. Jammu and Kashmir, sir. The voting at the time of partition, when the people of Jammu and Kashmir were asked which side you want to be in, they chose India, sir. So could that be also taken as the reason why India is focusing so on Jammu and Kashmir, sir? Because they want to respect the rights of the people. Could that be also taken as a reason, sir?
That is the trickier. Actually, what happened is people of Jammu and Kashmir did not go for a vote. The ruler of Jammu and Kashmir came to India. Okay, the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir came to India and acceded to India. The ruler was a Hindu. The population was Muslim. So that point cannot be added. But wait, I will give you a more substantial point. What happened is in 1954, the Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly voted for its constitution. So from 1948 onwards, they are preparing their constitution, and 1954 only they are concluding. In the Jammu and Kashmir constitution, that is created by their own people, representative of Jammu and Kashmir people, no? Their representatives are voting upon a constituent constitution based law. In that they are telling that Jammu and Kashmir will be integral part of Indian Union, point 1. So it is 1954 Jammu and Kashmir people are accepting it. So that point you can very well use. And they are saying the nature of relationship between India and Jammu and Kashmir, that is Jammu and Kashmir integral part to the Indian Union, is not negotiable and cannot be amended at all. They said that even the Jammu and Kashmir constitution may be amended, but the relationship that they are freezing in 1954 is not subjected to any change, amendability. So they are fixed for once for all that Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India. That is accepted by people of Jammu and Kashmir itself through their lawful constituent assembly, which debated for years to arrive at the solution. It was not a spontaneous emotional decision or a political decision. It was a product of very cautious and deliberate discussion, detailed discussion on the status of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir with India. And they have agreed to be part of Indian Union. And that is the time they demanded, yes, we are ready to be part of Indian Union, give me a special status. And that is why in return we agreed for continuation of 370. That's a different story. So you can use this point. Instead of saying they voted, people of, you can say that Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly has accepted a constitution in which they have accepted Jammu and Kashmir to be integral part of India, and that status is unalterable. That point you can use.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Asha. Varsha, yes, Varsha.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, can you list me what are the books to read in NCERT for polity purpose, sir?
As I told you, that is the next class. Now I'll be telling you in detail with the explanation.
Okay, sir.
The reason is, if they just tell the books, no, you will be tempted to read all the material in the market because you don't know the reason why I suggested it. So I'll list out the books and give the priority, how to read, approach to read, as well as I'll tell you why I am saying so. I'll give the justifications for it so that you can strongly stick with it. So merely I can even just mail it to you, but that is not useful. So we will do it in a structured way. Okay. Just next class I'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Aravind. Yeah, you have come now only. PSR. Aravind is making some mimicry. I think I'm hearing some different noises. Arvind, try to speak, no? I'm sorry, Arvind. Your voice is creaking. Actually, it's creaking. It's not so clear. Just try to plug out your audio cable and once again, insert it so that we get a clear audio. Yes. Now we can proceed. Try, Arvind. Okay, Arvind, you can wait, hold on, no? So I'll take questions from others and come back to you. Huh? Raj, you can
Hello,
ask
sir.
your
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Raj.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a small doubt. With the existence of surplus food grains in FCI and with 5 lakhs plus of FPS, why India is still facing poverty, sir? And with all many schemes given by the central government, why does we still face poverty and other crises in the country?
Okay. Now, poverty is not only defined by the consumption of food. Okay, but also we have a commodity of goods, we'll say, a basket of commodity of goods that should be consumed, which includes food, education, health, okay, shelter, clothing, and other basic needs, right? Even transport is included. Then, even wider definition, they say the public amenities that is available, roads, electricity. So we keep on adding it. Okay, so we define poverty in that sense. Okay, so it's not that people will not eat food at all, those who are poor. The consumption rate is less. They'll be consuming only food, not other commodities. Or they will be consuming food that is given by the government as subsidy, not more than that. They don't have choices apart from that.
Why does the scheme doesn't go directly to the people? So still there are some lack in the schemes to be going to the rural areas and all.
Yeah, so this is a multi factorial aspect. The firstly is purchasing power of the people, as I told you. Secondly, identification of the target group. Many people who are extremely poor, like nomadic tribes, those who are in construction work, migrant workers, okay, those who are in informal sector, those who don't have ration cards, transgenders, those who are orphans, okay, those who cannot have houses, homeless people, okay, those who live in platforms. So all these people cannot be given ration cards, so that no direct supply of food. For example, during this coronavirus, the major reason why migrant workers has to shift from each state to other state, their home state, is because local people have ration cards, they have households, they can be provided with food grains to the by the government. But migrant workers, since they do not have any social security, they are pushed to extreme levels of poverty, no support from the government, they have to move to their hometowns. So the accessibility aspect is there, that problem is there. Identification of targets is another problem. Third, leakage is problem. Whatever system we are bringing in, leakage of the government subsidies and measures is another problem. Then you have vested interest like business people, right? Trade people always want the commodities like rice and wheat to be sold in open market so they can get their margins. So they involve in many illegal activities like hoarding and stealing from the government treasury and other things, okay, in order to make the system inefficient. So this is a multifactorial. We have to address this problem structurally on the side of government, on the side of people. We have to rationalize the economy, bring in technology. So development is one key word. Okay, development in all sector will increase the capability of the government to fill up the gaps.
Okay, sir. And about the cooperative society, is it directly owned by the government? But the majority of stock is owned by the government, or how is it?
There are multiple types of cooperative societies. The cooperative society is owned by the government.
Examples like Amul.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, all the milk cooperative societies, okay, run by the government. Then there are cooperative societies, self-help groups, which is completely private. There are cooperative societies which is run by employees. For example, PSU employees, they'll form a cooperative society to buy the products wholesale and sell it among themselves. Okay, so that reduce the expenses.
So it cannot be categorized into privatized or government.
Yeah, it can be anything.
So it depends upon the commodity. Okay.
It depends upon
Thank you so
the mutual cooperation for mutual benefit. That is the keywords. Cooperative society, two keywords: mutual cooperation, mutual benefit.
Okay, but in the case of Amul, if we take, so the milk is being purchased from the nearby farmers, sir. So it is like consumed from the farmers, or it is directly owned by the government?
Yes. The thing is, marketing,
is it formed by the farmers or the government?
Marketing, organizing, processing, cold wear facilities and all is provided by the government, but the supply is still done by the people. Once again, there is mutual benefit and mutual cooperation. The government is cooperating with the farmers because nutritional supplement for the entire society is given by milk. Okay, and indirectly, when milk farmers are supported, the rural economy is supported so that the burden on the government is reduced. So there is a mutual cooperation, mutual benefit once again.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. We'll discuss Article 19, cooperative societies. I'll discuss in detail.
Sure, sir. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Shivapriya, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Shivapriya.
Sir, I have a doubt. If we are a larger state and we need legislative council in the sense, why can't we add some more seats in legislative assembly itself, sir? Why we need a legislative council in particular?
Good. Okay. I appreciate your analytical thinking. Okay. She's asking a right question. Why can't we add seats in the state legislative assembly itself? Not in why we have to have a state legislative council? State legislative assembly is an elected body, right? The principle says that all MPs should have equal numbers of people represented. So state legislative assembly does not allow the scope for nomination. It allows only for election, because every constituency, same number of people, equal number of seats for all the constituencies. Now, when you come to state legislative council, you can give represented or unrepresented and give nomination for. Why not election? Why nomination? You just take the example of teachers. They are just a small percentage only. Now, if you say that you stand in the elections and come and represent, it's difficult for them. Okay, they cannot get votes. Okay, either you have to conduct election among the teachers, or nomination should be done. Or you just imagine, a scientist, who can contribute for the law-making process. He's not going to vote it up to power. Now, this person will be given representation through nomination in the state legislative council, and governor can do it directly. And why nomination cannot be done in state legislative assembly is because the government's majority is dependent upon state legislative assembly. I'll give you an example. Take the Rajasthan state. Now, the chief minister Ashok Gehlot has to remain as chief minister. For that, he has to have the support of maximum number of MLAs from Lok Sabha. Okay, sorry, from the state legislative assembly, maximum number of support he should be having. Now, if you allow nominated members in state legislative assembly, nominated members will be appointed by chief minister through governor. So the chief minister can nominate so many people into state legislative assembly to safeguard his government. So that should not happen. So nomination is not allowed in state legislative assembly, only election, because state legislative assembly directly is the reason for existence of the government and removal of the government. So whatever nominations, if you want to make to give representation, do it in the state legislative council. That is why we are having state legislative council. You're able to understand?
I got it, sir. But yeah, I am able to understand. But only one doubt regarding the same, sir. You told some one condition, no, sir, that in election of MLAs there is some fixed criteria. Something you told, so that point I am not able to get it. Fixed number of seats for a constituency, or
yeah, that is there. We will explain when we come to it. There is a fixed number of constituencies for each state, and each constituency fixed number of MPs, which is one unit value. Every constituency will have one MP. Every state assembly constituency will have one MLA. Remember, in constitution also gives space for having multi-member constituency. You can have 2 MPs, 2 MLAs. So far it has not happened, but the law says that whenever you are going for increased number of representatives, it must be equal constituency. For example, Chennai Central Constituency, if I am saying 2 representatives will be there, I should make 2 representatives for all the constituencies. Okay,
so all the constituencies should have same number of seats.
Yes. Now, right now it is 1.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I got it, sir. And one more doubt, sir, regarding this JNK issue. So, without the choice of the people, it was made it as a union territory, so that it comes under direct control of Prime Minister or President, sir? President, no?
By the book, it is President, but by the real scenario, real powers are vested with the Prime Minister. So indirectly, the power is with the Prime Minister. So in examination, if they ask, we should say that the administration of Jammu and Kashmir comes under President. But our practical way of working, it's Prime Minister. In examination, you have to give President.
Okay, sir. And one more doubt, sir. Why can't we have a referendum, like to ask the people whether they want to be a union territory or state government? They can ask, no, sir, practically.
Infiltration, no. There are a lot of terrorists. You don't know exactly how many terrorists have come inside. You give a referendum now. You know how could you identify whether they were full-fledged residents of Jammu and Kashmir from 1950s onwards, or whether they are infiltrated terrorists. That is the problem. And moreover, right now, because of some political wrongs, as well as some administrative wrongs that have been done from our side, Indian government, unfortunately, it happened without control, unconsciously. Because of that, there is some anger in the Jammu and Kashmir people. So conducting a referendum may backfire. Okay. In examination, you write. In examination, you must write the first point. I told you, no. We cannot identify the infiltrators. Without infiltrators moving out of Jammu and Kashmir, there is no question of plebiscites or referendum. That is the point you should write in the exam. Don't write the second one.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah, that's all, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. Next. How much more is there? We have a class at 2 o'clock, is it? 2 o'clock we have a class.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Sir. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Yes, Jai, please, Jai.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Jai.
Sir, for this, at least I think for 4 months I was waiting eager to ask the polity faculty my doubts, sir. My doubt is that in this scenario, in this situation of pandemic, the central government is amending many laws like the Epidemics Act 1897, like this. So how could the central government can amend without the proceedings in the parliament, sir?
We have a scope in our constitution. Ordinance route is there. Ordinance, times of crisis, when parliament cannot be called into action, we have an option called as ordinance, which means government can directly make law. Later on, then it can get approval from parliament. There is a scope for it.
Okay, sir. But how far this extent of the power can come in ordinance, sir? Because for not all the matters they can ordinate, sir.
Times of crisis, we cannot be contesting who have to take a decision. So the constitution has designated in times of crisis, central government can take decision. Okay, of course, this epidemic act, it comes under health, which is a state list. Okay, so now, in case of crisis time, they are taking up it as a national level. Okay, to protect the population and other things, it can be contested in the court of law. So, however, in times of crisis, to manage this only, we have ordinance making power to give a short period power for central government. So, using ordinance and other things until courts is coming in, within a short period, the central government can ensure the containment of the epidemic.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have a doubt, sir. That is, if they are amending a law which is earlier, so if it could not be passed in the parliament, will it be valid or it will be cancelled, sir, in the future?
It will be cancelled. If parliament is not giving approval, it will be cancelled.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Next. Aravind.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Aravind.
Sir, regarding the PSIR, should I start the preparation now or should I wait for the classes?
Start for the NCRT basically. Okay, so Govind sir will be dealing PSIR class for you. Start with NCRT. The 4 NCRTs are there.
Sir.
Even from 6th standard you start since PSIR option, no? So you will get an overall idea. Then, by the time class will start, then you can start. Parallel preparation is always good. And an option, if you complete faster, it will give you immense confidence. Okay, so earlier you complete optional, better it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next. Next. Yes, Srihari, you can speak now.
Hello, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible. All are audible.
Recently, Andhra Pradesh has passed a bill on abolition of state legislative council. So it's under review of union government right now. So who will take care of this in the union government, sir? Whether it is again discussed by in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, or directly reviewed by the president's signature?
Come again with regarding to schemes in Andhra Pradesh.
No, sir. Abolition of state legislative council in Andhra Pradesh. The AP government has passed a bill in recent, I think in January, sir.
Yeah, what they have passed is a resolution. It is called as a resolution, not a bill. That should be passed as a law in parliament. It goes to the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both of them to pass it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll discuss anyway. I'll be discussing. When we discuss state legislative council separately, I'll discuss that in detail.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Sahana, is it?
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Sir, இப்போ ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசெம்பிளில வந்து குறிப்பிட்ட நம்பர் ஆஃப் மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் இருக்கணும்னு இருக்குதா சார்?
ஆமா, மேக்ஸிமம் 500, மினிமம் 40. ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி, சாரி, மினிமம் 60, மேக்ஸிமம் 500, மினிமம் 60. இதுக்கு நடுவில் அந்தந்த ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அந்தந்த ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். தமிழ்நாட்டில் வந்து 234 அப்ராப்ரேட்னு நம்ம யோசனால அதை ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஆனால் 500 தாண்டக்கூடாது. கான்ஸ்டியூஷனில் ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆயிருக்குது. ஹலோ சஹனா, கேட்குறீங்களா?
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார். சார் இப்போ அதே மாதிரி வந்து ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் கவுன்சில்ல வந்து நம்பர் ஆஃப் சார் ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் கவுன்சில்ல வந்து இத்தனை மாதிரி இந்த நம்பர் ஆஃப் மெம்பர்ஸா இருக்கணும்னு இருக்குதா சார்?
இருக்கு அதுலயும் இருக்கு. ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் கவுன்சில் இருக்கு. மேக்ஸிமம் 60, சாரி, மினிமம் 40, மேக்ஸிமம் வந்து 1/3 ஆஃப் த ஸ்ட்ரென்த் ஆஃப் ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளி. ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் சட்டப்பேரவையோட எண்ணிக்கையில 1/3, 1/3 ஆஃப் இட். இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் 90, நான் சொல்லிட்டேன், ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லிட்டேன்.
ஓகே சார்.
ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளில 90 சீட் இருந்துச்சுன்னா 30 சீட்டு, அப்படி சாரி 120னா 40, ஒரு 150 இருக்குன்னா 50 சீட்டு, 50 சீட் வரைக்கும் இருக்கலாம்.
ஹலோ சார்.
சொல்லுங்க. சானா, இஸ் தட் ஃபைன்? உங்க டவுட்ஸ் முடிஞ்சதா? நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டூடண்ட் போலாமா?
சார் எனக்கு கேட்கல சார்.
உங்க டவுட்ஸ் முடிஞ்சதா? இன்னொரு டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா கேளுங்க, இல்லைன்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டூடண்ட் போயிடலாம்.
சார் இப்போ வந்து லாஸ்டா சொன்னது எனக்கு அவ்வளவு கேட்கலைங்க சார்.
எனக்கு புரியல. திருப்பி சார் கேளுங்க.
சொன்னது வந்து எனக்கு கேட்கல சார்.
அதாவது ஒரு ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளில 150 சீட் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுங்களேன். அவங்க ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் கவுன்சில் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணாங்கன்னா, சட்ட மேலவை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, அதை எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா 50 வரைக்கும் பண்ணலாம். மினிமம் 40, மேக்ஸிமம் 50 சீட் வரைக்கும் போகலாம். அந்த ஃபிக்ஸ்ட் நம்பர் வந்து கான்ஸ்டியூஷன்ல இருக்கு.
ஓகே சார். அது வந்து தனித்தனி ஒரு ஸ்டேட் வந்து நிறைய கான்ஸ்டிட்யூன்சிஸா பிரிச்சு அப்புறம் எலெக்ஷன் வச்சு எடுப்பாங்களா சார்? இத
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளி சட்டப்பேரவைக்கான தொகுதிகளை வந்து ஏற்படுத்திடுவாங்க. சட்டப்பேரவைக்கான தொகுதிகளை ஏற்படுத்திட்டு அதுலேருந்து 1/3 பகுதி எவ்வளோன்னு பார்த்து அது வந்து சட்ட மேலவைக்கு கான்ஸ்டியூன்சியாக வைப்பாங்க, தொகுதிகளாக வைப்பாங்க. ஆனால் அந்த தொகுதி வந்து டெரிட்டோரியல் கான்ஸ்டியூன்சியாக இருக்காது. அதாவது இந்த இடம் அப்படின்னு இருக்காது, இவ்வளோ சீட் அப்படின்னு இருக்கும், அவ்வளோதான்.
ஓகே சார். சரிங்க சார். ஓகே சார், புரிஞ்சுதுங்க சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
தேங்க்யூ. எத்தனை பேர் இதில் இருக்காங்க லைனில் ஆரம்பி? ஓகே நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் இது பண்ணுங்க. we should encourage people to ask doubts in Tamil also.
ஹலோ சார்.
எஸ்
சார், ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளிக்கும் லோக்சபாக்கும் ஒரே கான்ஸ்டிட்யூன்சியானா சார்?
இல்ல, வேறுபடும். இதுக்கு சட்டப்பேரவைக்கான தொகுதி வேற கம்ப்ளீட்டா வேற. இது பாராளுமன்றத்தில் எஸ்பெஷலி வந்து மக்களவைக்கான தொகுதி அதோட பங்கீடு அதோட வரையறுக்கும் முறை வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டா வேற. ரெண்டும் ஒரே தொகுதி கிடையாது. அதனால தான் வந்து பாராளுமன்ற தொகுதின்னு தனியா சொல்லுவாங்க, சட்டமன்ற தொகுதின்னு தனியா சொல்லுவாங்க. பார்லிமெண்டரி கான்ஸ்டிடுவன்சி, ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளி கான்ஸ்டிடுவன்சி, அசம்பிளி கான்ஸ்டிடுவன்சின்னு தனியா சொல்லுவாங்க. சொல்லுங்க ஏதோ டவுட்?
அதான் பாப்புலேஷன் படி இருக்குமா சார்? இது கொஞ்சம் கம்மியான பாப்புலேஷன், அந்த அதுக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸஸ் பாப்புலேஷன் அப்படி வச்சிருப்பாங்களா சார்?
ஆமாங்க. ஏன்னா இப்போ தமிழ் என்டையர் நீங்க இந்தியா எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா நம்ம பாப்புலேஷன் வந்து ரொம்ப 100 கோடி கிட்ட இருக்குது. தமிழ்நாடு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 6 கோடி பாப்புலேஷன். ரெண்டுக்குமே ஒரே நம்பர்ஸ் இருக்குது. 234 தொகுதி, அங்கே வந்து 545. ஸோ எம்பி தொகுதிக்கான இது மக்கள் தொகை வந்து ரொம்ப அதிகமாக இருக்கும். வேற சட்டமன்ற தொகுதி வந்து மக்களுடைய பாப்புலேஷன் வந்து கம்மியாக இருக்கும். ஆனால் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்குள்ளே இருக்க சட்டமன்ற தொகுதிகள், அதாவது அசம்பிளி கான்ஸ்டிடுவன்சி, எல்லா கான்ஸ்டிடுவன்சிக்கும் ஒரே பாப்புலேஷன் இருக்கும். அதோட எண்ணிக்கை வந்து சமமாக இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி இந்தியா பூராவுமே எடுத்துட்டோம்னா எம்பிஸ் இது சேம் பேரிட்டி இருக்கும். நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவாங்க, அதுக்கு தனியா கிளாஸ் இருக்கு பார்லிமெண்ட்ல, அதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவோம்.
ஓகே சார். சார் இந்த ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளில இருக்கவங்க மட்டும்தான் ராஜ்யசபாக்கு நிப்பாங்களா சார்? இல்லைன்னா லோக்சபால இருந்து ராஜ்யசபாக்கு எடுக்கிறாங்களா?
யார் வேணாலும். அவர் ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளி மெம்பரா இருக்கலாம், லோக்சபா மெம்பரா இருக்கலாம், அல்லது இது ரெண்டுலுமே வந்து உறுப்பினரா இல்லாம மெம்பரா இல்லாம கூட இருக்கலாம், வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. அவுட் சைடர் கூட எலெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். அவங்க நாமினேட்டும் பண்ணலாம், எலெக்டும் பண்ணலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் தமிழக சட்டப்பேரவை இருக்கு, அவங்க வந்து சேர்ந்து ராஜ்யசபா எம்பிக்களை வந்து தேர்ந்தெடுக்கணும் போது அவங்களுக்குள்ள இல்லாம அவங்களுக்கு வெளியில இருக்கவங்களையும் தேர்ந்தெடுக்கலாம்.
ஆனா லோக்சபால இருக்கவங்க ஓட்டு போடணும், அவங்க கையில இருக்குது.
இதுல லோக்சபா வர மாட்டாங்களா? ராஜ்யசபா எலெக்ஷன் வந்து முழுக்க தமிழக சட்டசபையோ இல்லைன்னா அந்தந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்டேட்டோட சட்டசபை ஆர் ஸ்டேட் லெஜிஸ்லேட்டிவ் அசம்பிளி சார்ந்ததாக தான் இருக்கும்.
சார் இல்ல, ராஜ்யசபாக்கு எலெக்ட் ஆகணும்னா லோக்சபால இருக்கவங்க ஓட்டு போட்டாங்க சார் வர முடியும். அதுக்கு டைரக்ட் இன்டைரக்ட் எலெக்ட் இருக்கு.
ராஜ்யசபா எலெக்ஷனுக்கு ஓட்டு போடக்கூடியவர்கள் லோக்சபா இல்ல, மக்களவை இல்ல. லோக்சபா எங்க இருக்கு? சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்ல இருக்கு, மேல டெல்லியில இருக்கு. தமிழகத்துக்கான ராஜ்யசபா எம்பிக்களை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறது தமிழக சட்டப்பேரவை. கர்நாடகாவுக்கான ராஜ்யசபா எம்பிக்களை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறது கர்நாடகாவின் சட்டசபையின் உறுப்பினர்கள். அவங்க தேர்ந்தெடுப்பாங்க, அவங்க தான் ஓட்டர்ஸ், ஓட்டு போடுறவங்க. அவங்க யாரெல்லாம் தேர்தலில் நிக்கலாம்னா யார் வேணாலும் தேர்தலில் நிக்கலாங்களா, அவங்களுக்கு ஓட்டு போடுறவங்க எம்எல்ஏக்களா இருப்பாங்க.
ஓகே சார், புரிஞ்சுது சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
ஓகே, டயக்ராம்லாம் போட்டு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணேன்னு பார்த்தா புரிஞ்சிருச்சுட்டீங்க. ஓகே, டன். தேங்க்யூ. See you students next class. Thanks.